We are in the West San Fernando Valley tonight for an intersectional. This should be a lot of fun. A matchup we normally don't see in prep football. We're at the Land on the campus of Cleveland High School in Reseda. It's the Crenshaw Cougars out of the Coliseum League 3-1 against the host Cleveland Cavaliers 1-3, but they've played a very difficult and treacherous schedule. Hello everybody, my name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play. I think, in all honesty, I just summed it up. It's an intriguing matchup. You just don't see Crenshaw coming to the Valley to play a team like Cleveland, who is a threat in the West Valley League. Crenshaw has been a dynamic squad over the years in the Coliseum League. And as we bring in Chuck Price, Chuck, I'm just overjoyed that we can get these two teams on the same field.
I'm as overjoyed as you are, Randy, but I got to tell you what, the school's been in existence since 1965, Crenshaw High School. When you ask somebody from around the country what they know about LA City sports, they mention the Shaw.
Yeah, the Shaw is a fabled school in the LA City section. Let's talk about styles. Styles make fights. Crenshaw's speed. Extraordinary fast players against Cleveland with a bigger roster, more bodies, and very physical.
With Crenshaw, you go back through the history of the program. Wendell Tyler, DeAnthony Thomas, and the current coach, Terrence Whitehead. It's a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. The Valley never is used to speed like that.
This is really an acid test to find out how good these teams are. The last game before they get into league. In fact, Crenshaw has Dorsey next week. Cleveland jumps into league play against Chatsworth.
I look at the Coliseum League, and I think it's the same three-team race. King, Drew, Dorsey, and Crenshaw. Never count out the Shaw.
Never count out the Shaw. Stay with us. You're going to see the Shaw against the Land. It's Cleveland and Crenshaw. We'll be back. A very festive evening in Reseda. We'll have the game for you right after this. Tonight's LA City Section Football Game of the Week is presented by Brett Stye, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita, how can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly, serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188. White-clad Crenshaw Cougars, the dark uniforms of Cleveland. A third member of our broadcast team, and we welcome her on board tonight is Jenna Parcio. Jenna, good to see you, Jenna.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, I'm down here on the 25-yard line, and the atmosphere in this stadium is already electric. It is Cleveland's homecoming night, and you can tell the parade has been going around the field for about an hour or so. Each class had a float, some of the clubs, the marching band, and the color guard as well. And when I talked to Coach Mario Guzman about the energy in the stadium tonight, he told me they sold nearly 3,000 tickets, so the stands are going to be pretty packed. He says that energy typically helps the team out, but he's been reiterating that they got to stay calm. And hopefully if they do that, it'll be a great game tonight. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
All right, Jenna, we'll hear from her throughout the game. And Chuck, Cleveland is kicking to the Shaw. We're going to see the Speedsters immediately from the Coliseum League.
They're a team that will definitely benefit from a fast start, moving the ball down the field, maybe even returning the kick.
We are underway in Reseda. Short kick, favorable roll. Ralph Robinson lost the handle. It's a loose football, and Cleveland has it. Oh, a huge break for the Cavaliers early.
About as bad a start as you could have for Crenshaw. Their defense is going to have to really make a stand here.
Let's take another look at this mishap. Robinson just plain and simply dropped it.
both guys touched the ball at the same time, and then he took his eyes off the ball, was more concerned about the opponent than finding the ball. Tough break, tough way to start for those kids.
Cavaliers take over at the Shaw 22-yard line. What a great opportunity on homecoming night. Tony Clayton is our lead official. Good crew tonight in the Valley. With the football is the running back. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight, Odabunmi. Moyo Odabunmi, one of the great sophomore running backs in the city a year ago, and they really like him this year. He's really improved. He's come on. 9 touchdowns this year, 6 on the ground. Caught a pass for a touchdown, intercepted a ball on defense for a score, returned a kick for a TD. Number 4, lightning in the bottle for the Cavs. Moyo has it again, right up the middle, and a substantial gain. And he keeps those legs churning. Oh, you got to love the work of this young and talented running back. What an athlete. 5'7", 155 pounds. But Moyo moved the pile.
He moved the pile far. He kept his legs driving, low center of gravity, super well put together lower body. He runs a lot bigger than 150.
I know, Chuck, you talked to the head coach, Terrence Whitehead of Crenshaw, and they wanted to get off to a rapid start on the road. This is not what they anticipated. This time, clogging up the play is Zevin Davis, 55. No chance for Odabunmi.
Yeah, Zevin Davis is a big horse in the middle, and he lines up next to Jeremiah Alexander. Those two guys really are great, stout inside guys in an even 4-man front.
Ball sitting at the 10-yard line. Odabunmi, number 4, again, is terrific. And they're feeding him the pigskin early. Running wide, and a tremendous defensive effort by Roger Shackelford, number 2.
He comes up in great support, but that battle's won at the line of scrimmage in between the tackles. Cleveland's physically superior, bigger up front, but Crenshaw has a great surge. They get off low, well beneath pad level. That's when they win the line of scrimmage.
Number 10, DeAndre Kirkpatrick, is the leader of that defense. Tremendous linebacker. He's been bruised up of late, but he's back in there, and with him on the defensive side of the ball, there are a lot of athletes. But on this occasion, as you can see, it's Shackelford who made the stop. Out of the gun, the quarterback, Julio Avalos. Avalos looking to throw for the first time. And it's caught by Green, Kobe Green.
That was the first time today, even though we haven't had a lot of plays. They went from a power lineup to 4 wide receivers. I think Crenshaw on defense matches up very well.
Looks like the field goal unit is coming out there, and that's a win for the Crenshaw defense.
Huge, keeping them out of 7 points and forcing them to try for 3. And as you talk about Cleveland's superior physical up front, I might have to take that back. Both these teams are pretty good sized.
Sam Cerritos, really good kicker here. Accurate, pretty good leg. Definitely within his range, and he puts it up and through. 3 points for the Cleveland Cavaliers as Cerritos splits the uprights.
Not really the way Crenshaw wanted to start, but I think the field goal is a victory for them at this point. Now they've got to field the kick and see if they can get their speed into some free spaces.
I think you got to feel great if you're them. You cough up the football as you see the Cerritos field goal, and you limit Cleveland, who's very solid on the ground, to just the 3 points. After the turnover, that's not all that bad.
Yeah, it's definitely a win for them. They didn't want to come in here and fall behind 3-0, but giving up the ball the way they did so deep, it is a moral victory.
Course, tonight's game presented by Brett Stye, helping youngsters do the right thing, showing their talents on television.
We thank you, Brett Stye, because we love showing the city.
Second kickoff, another pooch kick. We have a flag out.
Love the festive activity here tonight. Homecoming. Jenna talked about it. How many people are here? Some 3,000 tickets sold by Cleveland.
It is a great crowd. You expect places to be sold out for homecoming, and it's still great to see it.
It's an offside, so instead of kicking from the 40, we'll try it again from the 35. Cerritos, number 10, who kicked the field goal, is the young man that does all the placements for the Cavaliers. On the other side, again, I think head coach Terrence Whitehead, who was a tremendous running back, went on to Oregon after his playing days at Crenshaw. Has to be happy with the way his defense was so stout after the turnover.
It looks like it might be against the bench on the Crenshaw side.
Well, that's unsportsmanlike conduct against the Shaw.
Caught a little conversation out of the corner of my eye as I was noticing Crenshaw making the adjustments on their kickoff return, and next thing I know is I saw the flag.
With this kind of field position, kicking from the 50, a lot of times the onside kick comes into play.
Well, their pooch kick style really is an onside kick. They try and get this ball 25 yards downfield and bounce it in front of the deep men. When you get that kind of penalty, you can't really do it this way.
Crenshaw would like to get the ball into the hands of DeAndre Kirkpatrick, number 10. I believe he's a D1 prospect. Linebacker, tight end. This one's kicked through the end zone. Remember Cerritos with that strong leg kicking from the 50, so it's a touchback.
Well, other than the offsides penalty on Cleveland, I'm already impressed with their special teams. They place the kick, they put it into holes, make it difficult. They converted a field goal. They took the 15-yard penalty and kicked it through the end zone. Good game calling on special teams.
See how that Shaw defense plays tonight against Cleveland. And again, on the flip side, we'll see Crenshaw's offense and how they interact, because as a team, they've had their moments this year where they've been really very good. There's the man who goes both ways, the terrific running back, number 4. He also plays in the secondary, Odabunmi. Number 3 is the guy, Daniel Flowers. He's so fast, fleet of foot, the quarterback. Sweep to the right side with Keon Rattler. Jones and Rattler in the backfield. Could have a quick game tonight, Chuck, with both teams prominently displaying the run game.
When you watch Cleveland in their first 4 or 5 plays, you really get the feeling they're not a team that likes to throw the ball regularly. And Crenshaw, obviously, they're going to want to get those backs in space. They'll keep the ball on the ground. Jones
and now Henderson lined up with the quarterback Flowers. Second and 6 play. Near side, great block, and Henderson turns it upfield. Terry Henderson is on his way. Inside the 35 of Cleveland. The speed of Henderson.
One great block to spring him, and you can't teach speed.
This Crenshaw team put 37 on the board against Fairfax, 32 against Long Beach Jordan, 57 against Maya Angelou. They have players who can move. One of them is Terry Henderson.
Yeah, what a great lead block that time by Jones. That's a teammate right there. And then he escorts him all the way downfield. You see the big lineman showing up 20 yards downfield. Good effort.
First down at the 32 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nice opening drive for the Cougars of Crenshaw. Jones, he has running room. Joshua Jones, junior running back.
Well, you're going to see Cleveland eventually start to move a couple more guys into the box. The lead back on the sets that Crenshaw's running, doing a phenomenal job of lead blocking. I'm going to see a safety walk up soon from Cleveland. That should open up some passing for Crenshaw, but they're going to have to make an adjustment because the O-line's doing a fantastic job.
First and 10 at
Empty.
the 21, and they do go empty. 4 on the flanks for the Shaw. Flowers That one should have been caught, dropped by the reliable DeAndre Kirkpatrick. It'll be second down and 10.
A bit surprised they jumped into the empty set with the success they were having with the two backs right there with the quarterback. I'm not going to second guess Whitehead. He was a pretty good football player, and nobody knows these kids and these programs like he does.
Second down and 10. Crenshaw threatening, down by a field goal. Flowers calling his own number. Breaks a tackle, skips out of bounds. Chased out of bounds on the near side by Robert Granillo.
With Jones in the backfield along with Flowers and Henderson, those are three really dynamic ball carriers. This is a tough offense to scheme against. They can give the ball to a lot of different people, and obviously they haven't even shown any misdirection yet.
Third down and long.
Third and 11 coming up for Jacob Garcia and the Cavalier defense.
Cavaliers trying to slow down the Shaw team. Tarek Fattal in the Daily News today this is the game in the city, and he picked Cleveland to win it. We shall see. Handoff, Henderson. Oh, he's slippery, isn't he? Terry Henderson.
Well, it's going to be 4 down territory, I believe, for Crenshaw.
It is fourth down. Fourth and a short 5. Clock down to 6:10. Left opening quarter with Chuck Price and Jenna Parcio. I'm Randy Rosenbluth. Glad you're on hand. We're at the Land here in Reseda, Cleveland High School. Flowers, let's see if he calls his own number. Number 3 is a dynamic runner.
Timeout, Whitehead.
So the Crenshaw Cougars take the timeout. Big play early in the game.
Crenshaw. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he took that timeout when he did. You don't need to save him in high school football for anything other than strategy in the first half. And you're right, this is a huge play.
And you were talking about it when you talked with Coach Whitehead before the game. He said we need on the road to get off to a quick start. They had the muff on the opening kickoff, cost them 3 points. Their defense did well to limit the Cavaliers to 3. But now they have an opportunity to take the lead if they can convert here on fourth down.
Whether they convert or not, I think they've got the confidence to say, hey, we can move the ball and we can stop these guys. This football team with confidence, to me, is dangerous. They've got a lot of speed. They've got tough, big bodies up front. Like I said in our opening, it's the Shaw. They just have a different level of dog in them when you come over that side of the hill. And it doesn't surprise me Tarek picked Cleveland. He's a Valley guy.
He's a Valley guy.
You and Sondheimer, him. Yeah, you guys are all 8-1-8s.
Well, the 3-1-0 is looking to take the lead over the 8-1-8. A big fourth down play. Flowers, he's throwing it. It's caught. This is going to be a touchdown. Roger Shackelford scoring for the Shaw.
Beautiful pass, great catch. Not just because of the result. I love the timeout and when he called it. Not worried about burning a timeout and somebody yelling at him. Why'd you throw away a timeout?
Love the composure, too, of Daniel Flowers in the pocket. Noted for his running, but he stood tall, protected well, and he put it right on time to Shackelford.
The beauty of it was he sat back there and wasn't forced or pressured to even move. Didn't seem to be very much penetration at all. They're going to go for the 2, but they've got to hurry this play up.
Shackelford trotting off after the score, being congratulated. And that's the start that the Cougars wanted. Looking for the 2-point conversion. Terry Henderson paired in the backfield with Joshua Jones. Flowers running for the pylon. Can he get there? They gave it to him. Able to reach out. Beautiful effort by quarterback Daniel Flowers.
He knew where the cone was, and he put the ball right there inside of it. Great effort, great run. I like the spot that they're in right now. They've got a lot of speed, Randy.
They really do. And, this is a big game. And we talk about the fact that it's an intersectional. And we'll find out how good these teams are. I mean, Cleveland is 1-3, but they've played very good teams. The likes of Harvard, Westlake, and Crespi out of the southern section had a battle, lost a close game to Franklin. Arleta, who's normally pretty good in the East Valley, and they murdered them for their one victory. So this is an interesting game for Cleveland. We all know how good the Shaw is.
And when I talked to Terrence Whitehead earlier today, a guy who played there in the early 2000s and actually the late 90s, he said these kids don't really understand what it's like to get off the bus and get 4 points in intimidation.
Michael Ibanez kicking off for the Shaw. That ball's muffed, and this one is a loose ball. That short kick. And we had a mad scramble, and it looks like it's retained by the Cavaliers, and is. Diego Becerra recovered it for Cleveland.
We've seen a lot of crazy special teams here in the first couple weeks. Kicks out of bounds might be the go-to.
Another look at the touchdown. Flowers to Shackelford.
Really high-pointed that ball. You don't want to let people get the inside on the goal line. If you're out there in man coverage or zone, you can't let a free run over the middle.
Crenshaw off the bus. Game was delayed about 15 minutes because of traffic, and what a shock that is in Southern California, having traffic on a Friday night. So we had a 7:15 kickoff. It was scheduled for 7 o'clock. The running game is stymied.
Yeah, they tried
That's
to spread
Crenshaw doing what they do best.
Well, they tried to spread them out. They lined up with 4 receivers. They thinned out the box, but Crenshaw just absolutely dominated the box. The push is a thing of beauty on that D-line.
DeAndre Kirkpatrick, number 10, sensational linebacker. Cornell Allen, there he is too. He gives you speed, and outside linebacker, also can play on that defensive front.
Those are those tall, rangy bodies, athleticism and size you just can't teach. And another great linebacker came out of Crenshaw, who wore number 10, Hayes Pillard, USC.
He was tremendous. He went both ways for the Cougars. Fullback, linebacker, Hayes Pillard. Play fake. Setting up the screen. Getting cut down after a nice grab was Jesus Fuentes. There he is. It'll be third down. Let's go back to the 2-point conversion, which was nicely done.
Yeah, great feel back there by Flowers. He's rolling, and that's really where you want him. He sees nobody on the edge but the cone and just goes for it. Great effort at the goal line, putting the ball out over the cone, inside.
And, is the accurate call. He did reach and cross the goal line, hit the cone. Third down. 4 to go. 4 minutes left, opening quarter. We're in Reseda at Cleveland High School. Cleveland against Crenshaw. Handoff, and being rocked and thrown down is Odobunmi.
Jeremiah Alexander is
He's a
vintage D lineman for Crenshaw. You think of Brandon Mebane, you think of Brian Price. Now I got to think about Jeremiah Alexander. He can play.
That was some hit. Shoulder tackle by Jeremiah.
He is cat quick.
Perfect technique. No chance for Moyo. Fourth down. Punting unit is out there.
I like where Cleveland is at offensively. They've come out in 3 or 4 different sets, not panicking, looking for what works.
Into the end zone, another touchback.
The kick just rolled into the end zone, but I do love those Cleveland special teams. And again, they've shown Crenshaw 3 or 4 looks. That gives them a lot to think about before they get the ball again.
Well, we saw Cerritos with the field goal and the strong leg on the kickoffs. That was Ruben Lopez, the punter, and he hit that one a long way.
Ultimately, we saw in previous games, you can't turn the ball over, and you've got to have special teams. I like Cleveland so far in that respect, but goodness, Crenshaw's got some hitters and a lot of speed.
Impressive first quarter for the visiting Cougars. Big number 77 up front, Kai Wheeler, senior, can play guard or tackle. He's versatile on that front. Flowers improvising. And he's shut down. Kobe Green got him, but there is a marker out.
Brought down on the play by Kobe Green. Flag on the play.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
Penalty against the Cavaliers.
That'll move it forward for the Shaw.
Randy, this gives us an opportunity here just for a minute. One of our officials on the field today is Carmen Hillman, and Carmen wanted you and I to wish Sandra Hillman, his mom, a happy birthday. And now that we're doing shout-outs, Judy Fruchtenbaum asked for one as well.
I don't know, Judy.
Hamilton High Class of 83, one of our followers on YouTube.
What I love about Chuck Price, he's hands-on with all our viewers.
It's like Wayne's World of high school football.
Flowers looking to hand off to Henderson, and here he comes, and he turns the corner. Little stutter step for Terry Henderson. Oh, I like this running back.
And when Coach looks at that film, Terrence Whitehead, he's going to say, what great downfield blocking by number 2, Roger Shackelford, and number 11, Deontay Lewis. Really, really great downfield blocking. They could stay on him longer, but clearly they're giving their guys space.
Okalola with the tackle for the Cavaliers, number 0. Solid player. Femi Okalola. Gives the team a lot of energy. Hard-working player. Flowers throwing again. They set up the screen. Big gain for Rattler. Keon Rattler.
I'm impressed. The play before, 2 plays before, the quarterback Flowers, he looked a little indecisive, and they got the break of the penalty. When he just steps and throws, he's very, very good in the pocket.
I'm impressed with the fact they were able to overcome the adversity of the turnover early.
Very much so. It's a great move to gain confidence through adversity.
Joshua Jones, number 6, back in. Flowers again improvising. He's got that quick step to the outside. Little Kyler Murray in him, doesn't he? He's a small quarterback who can run.
Yeah, they got a penalty flag down. It's probably going to be a hold, and I think the longer he holds that ball, the more likely bad things are to happen to Crenshaw. Lineman downfield, lineman being forced to hold, and he doesn't hold the ball that securely.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. We play first down.
His lack of decisiveness is the only thing about Crenshaw right now that points out in a negative direction. Everything else to me, I love what I see.
Yeah, they've controlled the quarter.
Randy, I ever tell you I love working with you? This is
You
great.
having fun?
I'm having a great time. I used to just
How about
watch
the-
games to hear you.
Thank you. How about the atmosphere here at Cleveland with all the fans here on homecoming?
I love it. It's a community school, and it's like Crenshaw. The kids that go to this school live in this neighborhood. Neighborhoods support homecomings. This is why kids should be enjoying high school.
Love Greg Venger, the athletic director here, always hospitable, welcoming us in. Greg has done commentary for us at LA36 a few years ago on the LA City Baseball Championship. Greg was a baseball coach for a long time. Handoff, Henderson again trying to find a crease. Tough to bring him down. He did go to his knee, so the play is ruled dead at that point.
Well, I love Joshua Jones as a blocker. Dynamic. He has that dog in him.
Bring up a 2nd and 16. That might be the final play of the opening quarter. Crenshaw brought over 30 players today. Everyone's saying their roster has lessened. I hadn't brought as many bodies to some of the games, but 32 dressed tonight for Crenshaw. Cleveland better than 50 bodies.
Well, the only one missing is Coach Garrett, G-Man, and we'll talk about that later.
We'll let you get into the story when we come back after the opening quarter. It's 8-3. The Shaw with the lead, and they're driving on LA36. Tonight's LA City Section football game of the week is presented by Brett Stye, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita, how can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly, serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188. Good start for the Crenshaw Cougars. Chuck, the commish is here today. Vicky Lagos.
Talked to Vicky for a little bit about the city section and who she liked, who she's seen early, and Vicky might be good up in the booth. She really knows her football. She is a great commissioner. Talked to her about the Dorsey King Drew game, which apparently could end up on our schedule and is now being played at Banning High School
in Wilmington. Nice stadium there. Beautiful setting here. Aerial shot in Reseda on another glorious night. We said that last night at Southgate, where the Rams won at Legacy, and their rivalry game was beautiful, and same here in the San Fernando Valley. 2nd and 16 as we resume play for the Cougars at the 34-yard line of the land. Flowers not reluctant in the pocket. He'll throw the ball. That one's tipped away and incomplete. Kobe Green defensively doing a beautiful job against Keon Rattler.
Great concept, nice throw, very decent route, excellent coverage.
Kobe Green, we talk about all the top players in Cleveland. He may be the best one. He's good on offense, number 13. Defensively, he's all over the field.
Right, there's a lot of players like him that we saw last night. They just keep showing up, offense, defense, and if there's a big play, he's usually near the ball or making that play.
3rd and 16. Flowers, the deep one. That one a little bit too far for the sprinting Ja'Cory Starks.
As a coach, you'll take that throw. It's either incomplete or it's a touchdown, but you're not going to let anybody on the opposing team get that ball.
Well, that'll bring up 4th and 16.
I don't feel a punt coming along here for some reason.
It's too far for a kick, so you're right. It's 4-down territory, and they're going to go for it. See if they pinpoint 10. Again, he's the great defensive player, but is so good offensively as well. The tight end, DeAndre Kirkpatrick. 4th and 16. Cleveland looking to get off the field defensively.
Love to see a screen here to Henderson.
Flowers running for his life. And he's tackled for a loss. Juan Mata with the sack.
In 7-on-7, they have a 3.5-second clock to make sure you get rid of the ball. If that clock goes off in a game and you haven't gotten rid of the ball, again, nothing good is going to happen.
Cleveland takes over at their 38-yard line. Gorgeous effort by Mata.
Great defensive pressure. Really strong. Great pursuit. Relentless effort. The big guy chased it down from behind. Most guys just quit. He went after it.
He's a senior, 5'8", and 265 pounds. Juan Mata. Well, the Cavaliers back by 5, 8-3, 11:38 left before intermission. Avalos continues to pilot the team. And again, great penetration from the defense and no chance for Odabunmi.
What great speed and tracking by Cornell Allen. He just ran that ball down. A good play for Cleveland. A lot of daylight ahead. He just couldn't get past Cornell.
No question, the Cougars are keying in. They're locking in on Moyo Odabunmi.
Yeah, Cornell saw the puller go down the line of scrimmage. He got right behind him, and unfortunately for Cleveland, he was faster than them.
2nd down and 10. Cavaliers unable to unleash their offensive running game. Again, penetration, no chance. They had 3 or 4 filtering through, and Moyo was done.
A very, very well-coached defense against this scheme. When they double pull those linemen instead of sitting there and watching the game, they've got these long, rangy, athletic bodies. They're chasing the offensive linemen as they pull, and they're faster than them.
How impressive is this Shaw defense and how they run to the football and how strong they are up front, including 77 Kai Wheeler.
It's an impressive squad right now. The game's early, but I love what I see.
Cavs need a dozen. Avalos stepping up, and he's running. Not going to get the necessary yardage. The umbrella defense, and a good shoulder hit from Keon Rattler.
And I loved what Lewis did out there in coverage and fighting off a stock block. He didn't let himself get turned in. He really stayed with it, knew that there was considerable yardage to be gained, stayed in front of the play.
They'll bring on Ruben Lopez to punt the ball. And 4th and 5.
As fast and as explosive as Crenshaw is, a one-score game would scare me if I'm them, because I love the Cleveland special teams.
Yeah, it's the best we've seen early this season, I would think. Lopez gets this one away cleanly. And it's dropped again and picked up. You can't advance it, but it's recovered by Cleveland. Jesus Fuentes. And Crenshaw is its own worst enemy right now.
And again, special teams. It wasn't anything fancy. And it was a ball that he should have caught. Look at his eyes. See his helmet come up and look at the defenders and look where the ball goes.
Yeah, Lewis with the muff and Fuentes with the recovery. And again, you can't advance the muff, but great field position for the Cavs.
Well, we're starting the second quarter exactly the way we started the game, and literal backs up against the wall. They need to hold this team to a field goal. Cleveland's going to find some offense. They're versatile. They're well coached.
And they're inside the 30 of the Shaw after the turnover. Avalos. And the play is blown dead.
This is fatigue when you've got your best football players playing both ways, which Crenshaw does.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The first thing that goes when you lose your conditioning is your discipline and the things that you learn. Watch the ball. Don't listen to the snap count. You start to lose that focus, and those are the mistakes that cost you football games.
Well, Mario Guzman's team looking to gain the advantage. Mario's in his second year here. 7-5 last year. They lost to Eagle Rock in the second round of the D1 playoffs. Cavaliers did get a playoff victory over Bell a year ago. Right now they'd like a score to take the lead. Very good deceptive move there by the quarterback, number 7, Avalos, but it didn't fool Crenshaw. It didn't fool Roger Shackelford, who has the touchdown in this game. He caught the pass from Daniel Flowers earlier for the score.
Yeah, they got a lot of kids going both ways, and eventually in a game like this, fatigue will play the factor. Cleveland's a team that's had a lot of great football players and great speed. Albert Fan, James Bethea, Matthew Clark. Those are great football players. All played D1 football.
One thing they have not done is won a city championship, and they'd like to get that accomplished. Crenshaw's won 6. They've been a dominant team. In 2009, 2010, they went back-to-back at the highest level. Green in the flat, trying to get loose, but a nice ankle tackle brings him down. It's a good job to get Green. Beautiful play by Shackelford again, who's been active on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up, well, they need a few yards to get the first down. It's going to be second down at about 5.
Play second down.
Well, there's a penalty on Cleveland. I'm not sure what the call was.
Yeah,
They're marching pretty far back.
Yeah, this is not good for the Cavaliers as they are backed up. It'll be second down and 10. Clock is running. Well, it should be running. They haven't started it yet. They've signaled into play. And it is second and 10. Near side, it's caught. Down the sideline. Maldonado. Brandon Maldonado, a returning starter, one of the leaders of Cleveland.
Well, the corner had great visions of a pick six, but he didn't quite realize how high that ball was going to be thrown. That's not a gamble you really can afford to take at this stage of the game, at that place on the field.
First and goal, Cavaliers looking to recapture the lead in Reseda. No chance again for Odabunmi. Number 10 filtering through DeAndre Kirkpatrick.
As I think about what Cleveland's doing and I think about what Coach Guzman is thinking about right now, I love the fact that he feels he can lean and bang and put the ball on the ground. And although they're not successful at it yet, they're going to wear the big guys down, and that will become a factor later in the game. Their hands are on their hips. Really like to see Cleveland now spread them out and run at them where they've got better lanes. They just can't move the big guys yet.
Yeah, they've been unblockable up front. Throwing for it, and it's picked off in the end zone. We're coming back the other way. The interception by Jason Pippert. So Pippert denies Cleveland, and that's the first turnover for the Cavaliers.
We talked about turnovers and special teams, and you know, you give the ball back to a team like Crenshaw when you're knocking on the door down 5. Got to take advantage of those situations. I'm not sure I don't love the play call. I just didn't like the result.
This ball was deflected, and Pippert in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that was a great deflection. Great play right there by Kirkpatrick. He's all over the place. He's got great range. He's an athlete.
And he's the one that deflected it, and Pippert with the pick. Well, the Cougars dodge a bullet, and they're back on offense. You love Jeremiah Alexander going both sides of the ball. He is so physical up front. Flowers running. This time he's bottled up. It's a nice job by Femi Okilola.
You know, Randy, every game I give you the nickname of the game, and this time it is the most endearing nickname I can give. But there's no doubt Jeremiah Alexander, he's Mebane. He's just the dominant interior player. Almost feel like you have to call that guy Mebane.
You're naming him after Brandon.
Brandon Mebane, the Super Bowl champion Crenshaw High Cougar, Cal Bear, and Seattle Seahawk, who retired as a Charger. One of Crenshaw's best.
Second and 7. Flowers, that quick screen to the far side. Brought in by Lewis and Green there to make the stop. Kobe Green will get you double figures in tackles every game. 1-3 is everywhere.
I'd like to see Fowlers and Whitehead throw that same play to the short side of the field. The way Flowers throws the ball, when you put that to the wide side of the field, that's a lot of opportunity for a DB to step in front of it. But getting that speed in the open space is what they're trying to do.
Third down and a yard to go for the Crenshaw Cougars.
2-down territory.
You think they'd go for it here?
Absolutely. 4th and 1, they'd go for it.
Well, it's 3rd and 1. They'd like to pick it up here and not worry about it. Flowers calling his own number, and he has the necessary yardage, it would appear, although that active Femi Okololo was right there to drill him. I don't know if they gave him the forward progress. I'd say they turned the down mark over. It looked like he was going to get the first down, Chuck.
Well, about 30 seconds ago, I said I felt they'd go for it on 4th and 1, and here we are.
4th down and a yard to go. Inside of 6 minutes left, opening half. A defining moment in Reseda at the Land.
Here comes the tush push.
The Flowers move, and he breaks free, but it's blown dead with a flag out. Huge call.
Flag on the play.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's a killer. Now it's 4th and 5, and I would think they would punt here, but who knows?
They believe in their defense.
He easily would have picked up the first down. As you saw, he might have scored. Who knows? But these Cougars, their own worst enemy, controlling the game physically, but the mistakes keeping Cleveland right there. And there's that man, Kobe Green. Are they going to go for it?
4th and almost 7.
Well, let's see if they punt it away. Flowers can do that, and he will. That caught the Cavaliers off guard. A tremendous roll. What a kick for Daniel Flowers. All the way down to the Cleveland 36. What a job.
Good call, Coach Whitehead. Way to get rid of the ball. No safety, return guy back there. Well done.
Cavaliers take over on
I mentioned that Crenshaw had won city titles in 09 and 2010. They also won a CIF city section title in 2017 and again in 2022. 2017, Robert Garrett took them to a state championship.
Garrett, who's not here and affectionately known as the G-Man, is the winningest coach in LA City history, and he's a couple wins away or a few from 300. I would sure love him to be out here tonight, and I would like to get him out here soon.
I believe he has 291 or 292. Again, they try the middle, and that has not worked at all. 55 again, Zevin Davis plugging it up, and Maldonado had no chance.
Brandon Maldonado with the carry, brought down on the play by Sebon Davis.
I don't know that I've seen a game, certainly this season, but in recent times where a team has controlled the line of scrimmage like the Cougars have, there's been absolutely no running room at all for the Cavalier running backs.
And it doesn't matter what formation they use. They try and spread them out. They bunch them up. Mebane absolutely dominates the middle, and Kai Wheeler is just as effective in there.
Maldonado remains in as the running back. Here's another deep throw near side. Not quite on the same page there. That one was intended for Jesus Fuentes. And it's 3rd down and long.
Randy, I don't remember the year, but I think that Garrett and Crenshaw beat a Sylmar team in the 90s to win a city title as well at one of the levels for sure. I think that was their first, and I think it was early on in Garrett's career. I have to go to my record book at halftime.
But those DeAnthony Thomas teams in 09 and 2010, of course, DeAnthony went on to start Oregon, and great kick returner in the NFL as well, was just so great. And those two teams in 09 and 2010 were spectacular. Pressure on the quarterback of Cleveland, who's forced to run again, and we've seen this scenario. Nice job there by Avalos. Able to break containment there, Chuck, and get a first down.
What I think Coach just found out over here is that Avalos might be the equalizer. You might see him play the role of a ball carrier a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised to see quarterback draw out of a spread set.
First and 10, Cleveland. Down by 5. Hard-fought defensive battle in Reseda. Avalos again. And he's rocked. Oh, was he hit. You know who that was. You could hear it up here. It was DeAndre Kirkpatrick, number 10.
And I thought to myself, if they make Avalos a ball carrier and I'm Crenshaw, I'm going to spy him with Kirkpatrick. That might put an end to Avalos running the ball much more this half.
Hunter's been bruised up of late, but Is he a welcome sight for Crenshaw fans to have him back? Have those pads back on. He is a hitter and a leader, and arguably the best player Crenshaw has.
He's special. He can play anywhere on that field. I don't think you want to put him on the O-line or D-line, but he can play anywhere else.
2nd and 10. We're at 4 minutes remaining in the half. Play fake by Avalos. Again, feeling the pressure. Got an open receiver on the sideline. Out of bounds goes Jeremiah Perez with a first down. He got loose in the deep secondary.
All-out blitz with Joshua Jones and Kirkpatrick coming up the middle. Not sure what they did with the corner.
Nice big play for the Cavs.
Great play call against the blitz. Nice job by the running back in there picking up that blitz on Jones for sure.
To the 29 of the Cavs. Ball at the 29 of the Cougars. The Cavs driving. Okay, we got the Cavs and the Cougs tonight. Coming across, Zevin Davis, 55.
So again, if you're Cleveland and you're trying to play
5-yard penalty, first down.
And you're trying to play what your advantage is, it's depth and create fatigue. When you throw the ball, stop the clock, and lengthen the game, get more plays out of the game, it's going to come back to help you in the fourth quarter. And I believe that's really what Cleveland's looking to do, is extend this quarter, get more plays out of Crenshaw.
Avalos has averaged 6 yards a carry this year when he's run the football. Try the middle, turned inside out as Odabunmi again. Boy, Mayo has had no running room at all. You can see gesturing to the teammates, guys, you got to block for me.
We've seen more hitting in one half here than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. You hear the hits up here. And we're wearing headsets.
Yeah, it's a physical battle. Again, your point is well taken. Will Crenshaw wear down? Because a lot of their players going both sides. Not quite the depth that Cleveland has. 2nd down. Cleveland needs 4. 8-3 Crenshaw leading. Avalos waggling and throwing from the right side for Kobe Green and missed him. And he was available. Throw was a little too tall. Kobe was open.
Great pressure pursued on the edge by Shackelford, and he's a rangy body. He puts his hands up, it forces that ball to sail. He really positioned himself well and forced that pass to be thrown too high.
3rd down and 4. Well, last time Cavaliers were knocking on the door, they threw the interception. Picked off by Jason Pippert. Cleveland back down there trying again to take the lead on homecoming night. Cleveland wants a timeout.
And I think Crenshaw needed it worse than them.
Cleveland. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
Interesting game so far. Crenshaw's been dominant. But Crenshaw's made some errors. You know who doesn't make errors? Our sponsors. And let's check in with our guys who are supporting the program. Tonight's LA City Section Football Game of the Week is presented by Brett Stein, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita. How can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly. Serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188. You know, Chuck, you brought up a good point. Cleveland called a timeout. But it might help Crenshaw more because they need the rest with less bodies.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm Cleveland. I'm going to throw the ball and lengthen this game.
3rd down and 4. Avalos pushing the pile forward. Doing a nice job. You got to like the effort of the Cleveland quarterback.
And really not a bad play call, not just because of the result, but because he runs right up the middle against an even front, so he could follow his center and get to the second level, and then he could avoid the guys like Mebane and Kai Wheeler. And obviously it's not Mebane, it's Jeremiah Alexander, who we've nicknamed.
No, who you have
Mebane.
nicknamed.
You loved it. It was good.
I enjoyed it, yes. You have a nickname every night.
I want to go with two. They're easier to remember names by.
Well, it's easy to remember the name, the quarterback, Julio Avalos. He's been good tonight, number 7. Doing it with his feet. Cleveland threatening. This time he's trying to do it with his arm. It's caught. Is it inbounds? It was brought in by Jeremiah Perez, but he was outside the boundary. A near miss for the Cavs.
Really, as a play call, it's very effective. Either we catch it or nobody does. And again, the clock is stopped. More plays. Wear them out. Love what the Cleveland coach has done here. He's really, for a guy in his second year, he's running this game for, like a pro. And when we talked to Coach Guzman before the game, great guy. You want your kid playing for a guy like Guzman.
That was close, but it was clearly out of bounds. Second down call. And another infraction.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Mistakes, and more mistakes by the Shaw.
This would be the knock against LA City schools. They're undisciplined. They make mistakes. I don't want to buy that. I want them to clean it up because they're a good football team.
They really are. They're talented on both sides of the ball. Avalos again looking to throw. And again, he's a great runner. There he goes. Inside the 5. When he decides to run, he's a threat.
He becomes the equalizer, and he's allowing the team to really move down the field. Takes advantage of the fatigue.
First and goal, Cavaliers. Aaron Coleman denied him a touchdown, but they're set up nicely. Clock is running, as you can see, approaching the final 90 seconds of this opening half.
This looks like a quarterback sneak, veer to the left type of a setup, with the back right on his tail to push him in.
Maldonado hit from behind by Cornell Allen, who got in that backfield in a hurry, number 17.
He's got a great knack for chasing the ball down from the backside. Great range, great speed. Cornell Allen, the typical athletic, lengthy D end at Crenshaw.
Second and a couple needed for a score.
Timeout. Crenshaw. That's their second charge timeout. They have one timeout remaining.
Smartly, they're using those timeouts to rest their players.
And I'd like to see them take that timeout to give the kids a minute break, but also to put them in a more steady goal line defense. Load up the gaps, put somebody right over the center, play tight man coverage. Don't let them off the line of scrimmage. Sure.
Eight-3 ball game. Crenshaw leading, but that lead is in jeopardy. Oh, how nice it was to see the parade earlier today here on homecoming. It was fun and festive, exciting, and certainly the kids here at Cleveland High School loved it.
You look at it and think, what a great high school experience. The administration, the students, the clubs.
Play's blown dead. It'll be sorted out. They did not signal the game to be played. It wasn't ready to go yet. So it's second down and goal. We'll try it again. Here comes Avalos into the open huddle.
For the second night in a row, we've got a very, very distinguished officiating crew, and they've got great control of the game.
The deep back is Maldonado. They hand it to him, or they try to. I think he missed the handoff. The ball comes out. Crenshaw's got it. They're going back the other way. Keon Rattler with it. Still going is Rattler. They're celebrating on the Crenshaw side. Rattler to the house. Touchdown, the Shaw.
Recovers the fumble.
How about that?
Big play.
96 yards. And how much of a backbreaker is that for the Cavaliers?
I'm not going to be Chick Hearn and put the game in the refrigerator, but to me, that's the backbreaker. I don't think you come back from that because from a confidence standpoint, you've had no success yet offensively, consistently, so now you have to take the second half kickoff if you're Cleveland, and you've got to convert it into points.
Speaking of points, looks like the Shaw will once again go for two. So turnovers have been huge. Early on, it was the Cougars that lost it a couple times. Cavaliers in recent moments have played giveaway 2 times.
And Cleveland's given it away where you go to get the money. They go to the teller window, and instead of taking it, they're giving it away.
Well, they were successful on their last 2-point conversion. Lead is 11, and if you're Crenshaw, you feel much better about things. You've controlled the first half. It looked like Cleveland was about to take the lead. Another timeout.
Timeout. Crenshaw.
And again,
that's the third and final
that's
timeout.
great stuff because there's no reason to take the timeout into half. Rest your guys.
Solid coaching. Solid coaching. Let's look at it.
We will. This is ball being coughed up. Avalos lost it. It comes right to number 5.
To me, that play was made by Keon Rattler, who really forced the quarterback from turning it outside, forced him up inside, and quarterbacks don't handle the ball like tailbacks. They're not used to running up into traffic, and there was nobody going to catch him in open space.
So it's a touchdown for the Shaw. They're leading 14-3.
When you look at Whitehead, he doesn't look like an all-city tailback, but he does look like a guy who belongs at Crenshaw. He can play football. He's comfortable on that sidelines, and nobody is a better representation of that school and that community than Terrence Whitehead.
So he's done a good job with the program, trying to get to 4-1 on the non-conference slate. Ralph Robinson, 15, inserted into the backfield, along with Terry Henderson. Flowers is the quarterback, and he's lofting it out to his tight end, and Kirkpatrick couldn't bring it in.
Well, that's a catchable pass, and I'm a little surprised he didn't bring that in. Put it on his outside shoulder, and I don't know that they're going to regret those 2 points that they let slip away, but that was a nice throw by the quarterback.
It was deflected away. Perhaps getting his hand in there was Jesus Fuentes.
Yeah, Fuentes made a great play there. Great play. Randy, what do you think of Crenshaw when you think of the top 8 teams in the city? When you think about the Open?
Border. They're on the borderline, I think. They'll be tested when they play Dorsey next week. That's going to be a tough assignment. King Drew's another good team in the league, in the Coliseum League. But they're right there. They have a chance in those games. And if they win those games, you got to put them in the top 8 in the Open Division. See if Cleveland can make something happen in the waning seconds. Again, returning it is Fuentes, and he's hit hard.
That's Terry Henderson, and that's bringing it.
Yeah, Terry Henderson's a football player. He will rattle your cage.
They hit, and that's what people remember in a long halftime.
Ooh, it's a violent game, isn't it?
Yeah, that hit comes very close to halftime, and again, that's something those guys are going to take into the locker room with them.
Yeah, what do you see from Cleveland here? I mean, we're in the final 25 seconds. Do you want to run out the clock, go back into the locker room, or do you want to take a shot?
I don't want to take a shot. I want to run the ball. I want to find out a way if I can run the ball against a four-man front, but now they won't really know because Crenshaw's in a prevent look.
Oh, they're going to open it up. Avalos looking for the deep one and nearly picked off.
Probably why you don't want to throw. You're down 2 scores. That's enough.
Shackelford had a real shot at the interception, number 2. It was intended for Wentz. Jesus never had a chance there. Cleveland fortunate it wasn't picked off. We're down to just about 20 seconds left in the half. Yet it's 14-3 Crenshaw. We'll hear from one of the coaches. Jenna Parcio will visit with the lead coach, which is going to be, one would imagine, a very happy
Terrence
Coach
Whitehead.
Well, Cleveland trying to make something happen, something magical in the final seconds. Good feed to Kobe Green. Kobe goes down with the first down. We're inside of 10 seconds. The Cavaliers will exhaust one of their timeouts.
I'll take it. I like them extending the game.
Well, you wanted them to run and be conservative, and they're opening up, trying to get a score before halftime.
Well, I think trying to score before halftime is going to more likely lead to a turnover. What I like about it is it does lengthen the game. It does make Crenshaw play more snaps. And I think that's the only thing they have in the pocket right now to use down the stretch.
Well, I think this game, you thought that was a backbreaker, the interception and the touchdown. I believe this game is still very much up in the air. I think Cleveland has moved the football the last 2 or 3 times they've had it. They've turned it over, so they can't afford to do that if they're going to come back. But if they hold on to the pigskin, they certainly have a chance. And you know, at halftime, their head coach, Coach Guzman, Mario Guzman, will talk with them and try to get them all on the same page. But on the flip side, the team in white, oh, they've made some plays tonight, the Crenshaw Cougars. Final 9 seconds before halftime. Avalos, another deep ball, and an interception. Laren Coleman runs out of bounds. Flag is out, so it's not quite officially halftime yet. Coleman with the pick.
I think they're going to give one on time down Crenshaw because that was either a face mask or a horse collar, I believe.
Personal foul, Cleveland. We have 1 on time down.
Well, this is always fun when you have one play to try to go the distance. The Crenshaw Cougars are going to take a double-digit lead into the locker room here. They'll scrimmage from right at the 40-yard line in Crenshaw territory, so they need 60 yards.
When I talked to Terrence Whitehead earlier and asked him about the Hamilton game, he said our offensive line really wasn't cohesive, and that quarterback from Hamilton was just something special. And I look at the Crenshaw secondary and them allowing Cleveland players to get behind them. To me, that looks like one of the weaknesses in their game right now, letting passing attacks get deep on them.
Of course, that freshman quarterback is Thaddeus Bro of the Yankees, and puts up big numbers each and every week for Elijah Asante's very fine Hamilton team, although they got beat this weekend by Oxnard Pacific.
Delay game. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So now they need 65 on the untimed down. But either way, Crenshaw has to be pleased, certainly with their defense. They allowed nothing. Remember, the 3 points came after a turnover. They locked them down, and Cerritos came in and kicked a field goal, and they've forced 3 Cavalier turnovers. We may not get to halftime the way we're going right now.
Start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
This is the longest final 9 seconds I've seen in a while.
Take a knee, coach. If the last 2 snaps are any indication, take a knee.
Needs 70 yards on this untimed down to score. Another whistle. They saw our drone, so they threw the officials off. The drone can't come over the field, but it was over the stand, so it was in a legal spot. In fact, there's the shot from the drone. And finally, the half ends. Caught by Lewis. We are at intermission, and it's a 14-3 lead for the Crenshaw Cougars. At the break, we're going to hear from SoCal Prep Report. You'll love what Tark and I had to say about some of the top games in Southern California this week. Very good first half.
Great first half, and the referee saw a drone, and I saw Coach Jim Rose from Birmingham. What are the chances that was Rose's drone up there?
No, I don't think
it's
so.
ours.
It's ours, and you can see the ladies coming out. Again, it's going to be a nice homecoming show here at Cleveland High School in Reseda. All right, Jenna's ready. Jenna Parcell, and has the lead coach. Jenna, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. It's an 11-point game in favor of the Cougars. I'm down on the field with the Crenshaw head coach, Terrence Whitehead. Coach, tell me what worked for your squad in the first half.
I think we was getting off the ball, running the ball a little bit better. Was running the ball pretty good the first half. We got to get back to it because second quarter we didn't do as well with it.
And let's talk about that big moment at the end of the first half, that pick six by Keon Rattler that got you guys a little more of a lead. How crucial was that moment, and what kind of momentum is that going to bring into the second half for your squad?
That was a big play by them. We've been screaming all week about guys making plays, and they finally made one right there. Goal line stand is the best one. So that was a big one. So I think that'll carry over to us in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
All right, thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Coach Whitehead. 14-3 at the break. Now let's check in with our SoCal Prep Report show. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Why, hello there. I'm Tarek Patel.
Did we wake him up or what? Hi, I'm Randy Rosenblum, and this is SoCal Prep Report. A little bit dramatic, White Car.
Days of our lives, man. I'm trying to get the role.
Yeah, well, we've got dramatic football. Of course, we had some huge games last week. One in particular we want to kind of break down for you. Mater Dei traveling to Las Vegas, rolling the dice, and winning the game against Bishop Gorman 27-24. This was a game that really dictated Mater Dei having the opportunity down the road to stay in the national championship picture after losing to Corona Centennial.
Yeah, and it was a good bounce-back game for Coach Raul Lara and his Monarchs because, look, you lose to Centennial. I think they had 6 or 7 turnovers. Clearly not the best game they've ever played. So now you go on the road, and I think the best thing for them was going on the road. And an aspect of it that was a business trip, less distraction. Let's get on the bus. All the kids have their headphones in. Sure, you can have a little fun on the road, but for the most part, when it came to game time, it was easier to lock in because there's less to worry about when you're at home. So I thought it was a really good sense of character for the Monarchs. They get a narrow victory. And I do think, though I think Bishop Gorman is good, Randy, I think it was another indicator that Mater Dei isn't the juggernaut we all think they are.
I think it's too early to tell. It's an impressive victory on the road. I think what's interesting here is Mater Dei has beaten that Gale team all 5 times they've met. They always seem to be very competitive, close games, especially in Las Vegas. I think it's a thrilling, great victory. And a couple things happened in this game. Let's go over it. First, the development of Ryan Hopkins, transfer quarterback for Mater Dei, playing big in a big game.
Yeah, he threw, I think, a couple touchdowns to Mark Bowman, a couple touchdowns to Chris Henry Jr., so he did look good. I thought there were moments. Look, the opening touchdown of the game, I believe, came from Bishop Gorman. They were down 7-0, Mater Dei was, and they were able to respond and take the lead. So, again, good character building and maybe even a confidence builder. How often do you say, wow, Mater Dei, this was a good confidence builder for them because they're always at the top. But, they needed that after a loss. So I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of it. That being said, I actually think, and I don't know if we're talking about this later in the show, but a little teaser. Are we talking about Santa Margarita Gorman later at all?
Santa Margarita Gorman, we are.
Okay, then I'll save it for later.
If it's that good, you can present it right now.
No, I just think Santa Margarita is going to beat Gorman.
It's possible.
I think it'll show that maybe Gorman isn't as good as we all think, and that equals Mater Dei isn't as good as we all think. That's what I think.
I don't like
a lot of thinking.
Comparing scores. You get into this and that. No. Last week, that was a huge win for Mater Dei.
Yes.
A big win for the Monarchs.
I think psychologically it was a bigger win than anything else.
Bowman, the tight end, Mark Bowman, going to USC, had not really been in the aerial attack for Mater Dei throughout the first few games. I think that's a huge development. He's not only a great blocker, but now integrating him into the offense makes Mater Dei's offense that much better.
I agree with you, and to be short, I think there was an emphasis to get him the ball more, and look what happened. I agree with you.
It's good to have Tarek agree with me. A little later in the show, we're going to have point-counterpoint. I don't think he's going to agree with me there. He will agree with me that Sierra Canyon is playing great football. Over Olu, 41-9. The defense of Sierra Canyon so far has been impregnable. You can't get by them.
Whoa, impregnable, my gosh. That's a child's show.
It's your time. You're on.
Sierra Canyon, yeah, I think, listen, when you play an Olu team or a Trinity League team and they don't score an offensive touchdown, that's actually happened twice this year. They beat JSerra 35-0. Obviously a shutout. And then Orange Lutheran, their 9 points came off a short field goal and then a blocked kick that was returned for a touchdown. Their offense literally couldn't do anything. So I think when you look at Sierra Canyon, and especially Rod Sherman, the coach at Olu, said he thinks they'll be in the Division I final. So high praise.
Tell us about this running back. We haven't talked about Jackson Stokes much. He had 3 touchdowns for the Trailblazers. In fact, we don't talk about their offense enough because they do score points. Laird, the quarterback, is playing well too. But Stokes, what kind of player is he?
I think he's a rising junior that a lot of Power 5, Power 4 now conferences in college football will be after. He's a little smaller, but man, he packs a punch. I'm going to almost give him like kind of a Warwick Dunn. I don't know, remember Warwick Dunn type, Florida State, Falcons type player, man. Makes you miss in a phone booth, can catch it too. And once he gets into the secondary, he's got lightning speed. So he's got a lot of touchdowns, and he actually runs with power too.
I did a one-on-one interview with Warwick Dunn. Great kid at Florida State. I just want to throw that in there. You're the one who brought up the name.
It's great.
Who would have thought that
I asked you if you knew who he was. Dunn? Didn't know you guys were buddies.
No, I didn't say we're buddies, but he was. Warwick Dunn was a great player. St. John Bosco is the #1 team in the country, and again, they flexed their muscles, dominating the team from Hawaii, St. Louis. And again, St. Louis is the top team from the state of Hawaii. Bosco continues to roll. They had a great win earlier in the year against St. Francis Academy. Madden Williams is averaging 25.5 yards per catch.
Yeah, St. John Bosco right now it gets the #1 nod in pretty much every poll out there. I think for a couple polls, maybe they had Gorman up there, but that's gone now that they've lost to Mater Dei. So the Braves keep rolling. I think that's a team that is just #1 simply because they started in the rankings so high, and you have to just give them the #1 nod because they haven't lost. But that's another team that does look somewhat mortal this year.
So is Mission Viejo. We didn't know if they were mortal or not, but they went to Tennessee, and it wasn't a good trip going to the South. McCallie knocked them off 25-14. A lot of people called it a stunner. Were you surprised?
Not so much. Listen, if you look at Mission Viejo, they've had some really interesting. Their 3 games, the last 3 games, they were against Folsom, against Lincoln, and then they have to travel and play this school from Tennessee. So out of section, out of state competition, you got kids, you're getting on a plane, they're tired, man, they're a little beat up. I'm not exactly surprised they lost. I think they'll be fine.
Is it too much? Are we asking too much of these programs? We're seeing Bosco play a national schedule, obviously Mater Dei, Mission Viejo traveling all over the country. It's wear and tear on your team.
Yeah, I think so, but that's why, you have the bye week and you can get some rest in. So that's what's happening a lot this week for so many programs out there. I think Mission Viejo, I think they have to play Chaparral this week, which is actually a decent opponent. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. And look, at the end of the day, for most of these programs, win or loss, you want to give those high school athletes a great experience. And being able to travel and play football is certainly a special thing.
Depends on the turbulence on the flight.
Yeah,
how good the experience is.
Yeah, that too.
Going to Tennessee could be a long trek. How about this one? Corona Centennial, no letdown for the Huskies.
Yeah.
They continue to play outstanding football. Rancho Cucamonga, losing record, but a pretty good team. I think the underlying factor here is the fact that Centennial didn't let down after the Mater Dei win.
Right. I actually spoke to Dominic Catalano, the quarterback, after they beat Mater Dei, and he told me, man, you know, as great as this win was over Mater Dei, we can't let it be the pinnacle of our season. We got to keep moving forward. And so for them not to have any type of emotional, psychological, or even physical letdown against Rancho Cucamonga, who has played a very, very tough schedule this year, was a promising sign for the Huskies.
Are we overlooking Los Alamitos?
Yeah.
Ray Fenton's team is 6-0. How good are they?
Yeah, and they're going to go 7-0 because they play Calabasas this week, and I don't think that game's going to be close. But Ray Fenton, man, talk about one of the good guys out there coaching high school football, and got a chance to talk with him a couple weeks ago. They have a running back who also plays DB named Lenny Ibarra, who's kind of their all-world, do-everything type player. And such a nice kid that's going to go to West Point, if I'm not mistaken, and play football. So good quality student athletes, good coaching, and the last ad, kind of back to basics. Los Alamitos has been known for having some high-level 4-star, 5-star guys and it not really panning out. And Fenton, I think, is getting back to just more neighborhood kids, and it's working out.
Are you concerned they gave up so many points?
Look, I don't think Los Alamitos is going to be some juggernaut in Division I. They're going to be in Division II and be really, really good. So they actually can't play themselves too high. They're not perfect, so I'm not too concerned about it. I think they'll be right where they need to be come playoff time.
Well, we're seeking perfection on this show. How about Oscar Rios? He's back, one of my favorite quarterbacks in SoCal. Downey. In fact, he threw a touchdown to his brother Jesus in the final seconds to win the game over Inglewood 21-20.
Yeah, pretty cool. I think Oscar Rios is certainly a name that everyone knows about here in Southern California. He's been dominating it through the air in his arm for at least 3 years, and so he's finally a senior. He's going to Arizona. Nice to see him eke one out. Inglewood is kind of had to restart. They're young and rebuilding, but a quality win for Downey, especially I think their last game before the victory was a thumping against Sierra Canyon. So it was good for them to get back in the saddle and get a victory.
Same for the Eagles of Eagle Rock. They've struggled defensively, but there's no struggles offensively. Paston, their quarterback, is tremendous. Had another big game, throwing for 5 touchdowns. 56-21. Taft had come into this game unbeaten, 3-0, but now the Toreadors suffer their first setback of the year.
Yeah, and this always seems to be a theme for the city section is, like, for example, on Friday, we've got Cleveland. I know we're going to talk about that more. Cleveland's playing Crenshaw. Crenshaw's 3-1. Cleveland's 1-3. Crenshaw might even be 4-1. But point is you can't look at the wins and losses. You got to look at who these teams are playing. So you're saying Taft was unbeaten. Eagle Rock might have had a losing record coming into the game, but they've played a much tougher schedule, some Southern Section opponents, and fallen short. So for me, when you look at a city section team, you got to look if they're battle tested or not.
I put this in to the show, this score, because he was right,
yeah,
and I was wrong.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I'll admit that occasionally I'm offline. I thought Banning could compete with Palos Verdes. I thought Palos Verdes would win the game. I didn't expect 52-0.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I mean, 52-0. No, I would have said, I don't know, 35-7 or it's almost like it almost doesn't make a difference. But I knew it was going to be lopsided. Again, Palos Verdes you're talking about a team that's played Sarah Gardena. They played some really high-quality teams. And so Banning comes to town, and generally, Banning is a team that doesn't exactly air it out. They like to play. They're like a Big Ten high school football team. They come with a lot of players. They want to come with a lot of beef and run the game, run the ball. Not a lot of versatility. So you run into a Southern Section team that knows how to stop one thing and tries to force you to do something else. You're going to lose.
Another Southern Section team, lower division, like about Division 11, is Santa Paula, the Cardinals, and they took it to Narbonne on their Brett Stye Game of the Week. And there was big play after big play early in the game. Here's a long touchdown pass going to Carvath. And this was on the first possession. It was actually the third play of the night. And number 0 was able to take it in. The quarterback was outstanding. Rene Vega ends up throwing 4 touchdowns in the game, all in the half. Here's another one to Sebastian Mendez, who went off in this game, scoring 3 touchdowns. Mendez was terrific. He had a special teams touchdown as well. And here it is. It's a block. You can see number 5 pick it up, a scoop and a score. This is always an exciting development for a player. especially in prep sports. And you got to feel for Mendez. You got to imagine the ride going back to Santa Paula about 100 miles after catching another touchdown pass right here. 3 touchdowns in the first half for the senior Mendez. That had to be a wonderful time for him.
Yeah, he's going to tell his grandkids one day, I was live on TV and had 3 touchdowns against Narbonne, and you want to know who was on the call? His name's Randy Rosenblum.
No, he's going to tell his grandkids he had 5 touchdowns. 3 in the first half, 2 in the second half.
Yeah, that's
I will
funny.
say
and Joe Buck was on the call.
Yeah. I will say this, Narbonne outscored them 8-0 in the second half, but again, Santa Paula pulled a number of their starters. So at least they pulled back a little bit, and it was a pretty entertaining second half as well. All right, let's take a look at some of the top performances last week in prep football in the Southland, and there's always great performances. We'll start with Gavin Gray, the QB at Agoura, 440 yards, 6 touchdowns. Oh, he did it to the Bulldogs of Buena.
Yeah, Gavin Gray is a young man with a great story. He is coming off injury from last year and has a lot of expectations his senior year, and he's meeting those expectations for Dustin Croik, who's one of the good guys out there coaching high school football.
He's the best guy.
Yeah, Croik's awesome.
Croik is a great
like a real just dude out there coaching high school football. And the Chargers are good, man. They've got some really good players, so Gavin Gray is one to watch.
He really is. I do want to mention Tuaniga. I mean, 9 touchdowns in the win over Cabrillo. That's special. You can't beat that. Then there's Thaddeus Bro of Hamilton. We're going to talk a little bit more about him later in the show. 402 yards, 6 touchdowns over Rancho Dominguez. Quentin Pacelli, running back, had a big game for Garden Grove. 380 yards is ridiculous. And Jack Norman, wide receiver, DB, 5 receptions, 232 yards with 3 scores, and a pick 6 on defense. Tesoro doesn't want to have to do any more work against Jack Norman.
Yeah, these are great standouts. Thaddeus Bro, a freshman, and then the gentleman from Milliken High School, freshman. So 2 freshmen there on the standout performances. Nice to see before you go into league play.
All right, let's talk about the CIF Southern Section top 10. Actually, in truth, Tark puts together a top 25. We showed the top 10 teams. Bosco number 1, no great surprise. I see you've elevated Sierra Canyon, and you have Mater Dei to 4th. Do you really think they're the 4th best team, or are they, because of their record, you have them at 4th?
Well, I think Sierra Canyon is playing better than, I would even argue, maybe even St. John Bosco, but there's kind of a respect level there. Until someone knocks them off, Bosco's going to be number 1, Sierra Canyon number 2 after what they did to Orange Lutheran. And then Centennial you have to keep above Mater Dei because they beat them. I mean, that's just how it goes. So I dropped Margarita down, but when I come up with my rankings, Randy, I always think about what's coming ahead. So, for example, let's say Santa Margarita beats Gorman this week. That's an opportunity for them to rise up, and I'll have to figure out how I want to stack these guys up. But for right now, this is a solid top 10.
You know what's interesting about the top 10? A lot of Trinity League schools, which is no shock. We see that every year, week in and week out. But there's Damien in there, which, you got all these major schools, and Damien's in your top 10.
Well, I think you have to look at not only are they 5-0. So look, I think it's not exactly rocket science. As other teams are losing, you drop them. As teams are winning, you bring them up. Damien's beaten Rancho Cucamonga. They've beaten J. Serra, and then they beat Tustin, who just knocked off Yorba Linda, who was previously unbeaten. So Damien isn't just 5-0. 3 of their wins are really, really good. So they absolutely deserve to be in the top 10.
Speaking of top 10, the LA City section has its top 10. This is Max Preps puts this one together. Birmingham is still ranked 1, even though they're 1-3. And again, they're playing a Southern section schedule. Carson, Pedro, Banning, all out of the Marine League. Then the Palisades team that offensively is gifted. And then you go all the way down to the 10th team, King Drew, that's really an improving team. I like Venice. They've played a tough schedule. I think they're going to be tough down the road, the Gondoliers.
Yeah, this top 10's a little interesting to me. I think Max Preps, it's all kind of computers, and there's no human element to it. I think to me, Hamilton probably needs to be in this top 10 somewhere. Palisades is basically the number 2 team in the city. You could even argue the number 1 team in the city, so how they're 5 is beyond me. But, they're not playing great teams. Again, that's kind of how the computer sees it. So this is more of a strength of schedule top 10 than really the teams, and that's okay. It'll fine tune itself down the road.
Franklin's another interesting team. They always play great offense. They're fun to watch. They air it out. But they're in the Northern League, and we don't hear a lot about the Northern League except for Eagle Rock, who is another team that scores a lot of points and gives up a lot of points. So there's great entertainment in the Northern League. I don't know how great the football is, but offensively, the games are fun to watch. All right, you know what time in the program it is. It's time for Point Counterpoint. I always defer to Tark to go first. And our topic today, who is playing the best quarterback position right now? Not necessarily down the road who might be the top player in years to come, but right now who's the top quarterback performance-wise in Southern California?
I think for me, I'm gonna go low-hanging fruit. I'm gonna stick with Luke Fahey of Mission Viejo. We ask ourselves who are the better arms in the southern section, and he might be the best arm, and he's playing the best. Okay, they lost one game on the road in Tennessee, but the teams that they've beaten, he's been really impressive. So I'm going to go Luke Fahey. However, I want to give an honorable mention to Dane Weber from Chaparral. Does it with his legs and does it with his arm. Really, really good player for the Pumas, and I believe he's only a junior, so keep an eye out for him.
I'll give my honorable mention first. Jack Thomas of Palisades.
Good one.
16 touchdowns, no picks.
Good one.
But number one right now is a junior, Oxnard Pacifica, Taylor Lee. Listen to these numbers. I told you Thomas had 16, 0 picks. Taylor, 22 touchdowns, no interceptions. He threw 8 TDs alone against Rio Mesa. He's thrown for 1,300 yards. But the biggest factor, he's hitting 85% of his passes, and his football team is undefeated. And you got to love the fact he walked on campus as a freshman. Everyone thought highly of him. He sat for a while, played a little bit last year as a sophomore, was not the starter, takes over mid-season, last campaign, comes back this year improved. He also can run the football. He's got the escapability, but nobody has been better than Taylor Lee. He's been on our great performances week in and week out. Taylor Lee has been the man, the top quarterback for me in SoCal in 2025. And that's Point Counterpoint.
Yeah, he's a good one. You had some good names there. I like that. Lee and Jack Thomas. Those are some good names.
Yeah, a little city love for Jack Thomas.
I mean, Thaddeus Bro's doing pretty good in the city too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a moment. We already had him on the board as one of the great performances. He does that every week. He's
going to be an all-city performer as a freshman.
All right, some top games in the Southland this week, and I know, Tark, you wanted to talk about the Santa Margarita Bishop Gorman game. You think? Beautiful pictures here tonight in Reseda, California. We're at intermission. Long halftime for homecoming. 14-3. Crenshaw making some big plays, forcing the Cavaliers into 3 turnovers through the first 24 minutes. Let's check in with the guys who pay the bills, our wonderful sponsors. Tonight's LA City Section Football Game of the Week is presented by Brett Stye, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita. How can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly. Serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188. Second half kickoff, returned out across the 45-yard line. We're going to bring it back with the knee down at the 42. And we'll see the Cleveland offense to start this third quarter. Chuck, they're down 11. What do you want to see from Cleveland?
To start the third quarter, they've got to put points on the board. If they turn the ball over without scoring, I don't see this being a game in the fourth quarter.
Well, Oda Bunby did not get loose in that first half, number 4. He's the deep running back. Shaw shut him down. Fuentes is thrown for a loss. Again, the penetration from Zevin Davis, and 55 has put his footprint all over this game.
Great intensity and energy to start the second half. The long halftime for homecoming, just what the doctor ordered for the Shaw. If they could put points on the board next, that you could put this game in the bag. Cleveland's got to get points. They've got to extend this game and play fatigue as one of their teammates.
Remember Tarek Fatal at the Daily News called this one of the big games of the weekend in Southern California and picked Cleveland to win it. But for the moment, it is the Cougars that are controlling. Unfortunately, one of their players is down. Sitting up, looks to be okay. And he'll be okay. He's going to the far sideline. So we're going to be ready to resume here pretty quickly. The problem is when you lose players, if you're Crenshaw, again, the numbers are low.
My feeling in a situation like this, next guy up has got to be ready. He might not be as good as the starter, but the fresh legs can't hurt them at this point.
2nd and 14. You would think Cleveland is going to air it out here in the second half. They had success throwing the ball in the second quarter. And Avalos is taking to the air if he can. Throws it away. That was excellent coverage in the secondary. Trying to get it into Jeremiah Perez, but the cornerback on the near side, Laren Coleman, who had a pick, number 21 in the first half, had him blanketed.
One of the few times Crenshaw gave up the edge. They kind of baited Avalos into running the ball, and the last thing he wanted to do, run the ball and take a hit.
We're going to go over who we think might be in the open division playoffs down the road in the city section, and we'll map it out for you. This is a team you're looking at in Crenshaw that we think is right there. They have a shot. And, we'll catalog it for you, tell you where we think Crenshaw stands. 3rd down and long. Pressure. Avalos has no chance. Surprised they haven't blown it dead yet. They ripped the ball out. It's taken by Kirkpatrick, and he's going back the other way. Wow. And then he lateraled it. What an amazing play as he shoveled it off to Coleman. How did they not blow that play down?
You know, I don't want to be critical of the officials, but for about a half hour, I was waiting for a whistle to blow.
Unfortunately, one of the Cavaliers players is now down. Well, another break for Crenshaw. This one's self-made and really an unusual play, and it looked like that play should have been blown dead much earlier. So it's the Cavaliers that have one of their young men being attended to. Let's take another look at this very strange play.
His forward progress was stopped, going nowhere. The fact that this play continued was really mind-boggling.
They did a good job of ripping it out, but I don't know how they let that play go. And fortunately for Crenshaw, went to the right guy, DeAndre Kirkpatrick. And then he lateraled it
to Ron Coleman, and he's Johnny on the spot.
Round of applause for Jeremiah Perez there.
Jeremiah Perez is the injured Cavalier being helped off, favoring his right leg.
Well, they look like an open division team to me, Crenshaw, and if they're not, they are right there on the bubble.
Number 17,
There is the hobbled Jeremiah Perez. He's a very talented player, hard worker, makes plays, wide receiver, DB, senior. Well, an opportunity for Crenshaw. They have forced numerous miscues by the Cavaliers. And you believe if the Cougars punch it in here, it's lights out. Not that we want to lose our audience or anything.
The Jello will be jiggling, to say the very least.
Joshua Jones in the backfield. Flowers rolling and throwing near side. Henderson with it. Toppled at the 10-yard line. Number 4. Terry Henderson. He's shown great ability to elude tacklers in this one.
Great concept on that call by Whitehead. They faked the ball to Jones, who would be running behind Kirkpatrick. All the indicators of we're running left, pulled out, bootleg to the right, slip your tailback into the pattern. Just a really great play call. Super play design.
We're going to talk about your dad a little bit in this. second half. Ron Price, great coach over the years in the city section. Coached at Crenshaw for a spell. Here's Jones running wide. This time the edge is held beautifully by Femi Ogilola, number 0.
Well, definitely a series here, knocking on the door. They put this game away right here with a touchdown. They are playing with swagger. Cleveland's playing with doubt. They got off the bus, and they looked like the Shaw when they got off it. And when you watch them hit, that's how they play.
And again, the resiliency after coughing it up, turning it over on the opening kickoff, holding Cleveland to a field goal. So Cavaliers have tonight. It's that one field goal. The defense has been stout indeed for this team from the Coliseum League. And Jones pile drives into the middle of the field. Number 6 trying hard to go forward.
You know, when we talk about Crenshaw, what about Eric Yarber? Crenshaw High, class of 1980. He goes to Idaho after Valley College, ends up going from the University of Idaho and the Big Sky Player of the Year. The only other receiver to be a Big Sky Player of the Year in the Big Sky, wide receiver, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Who Eric Yarber coached, as he is now the wide receiver coach with the Rams after winning a Super Bowl as a wide receiver coach and as a wide receiver with the Washington Redskins and Doug Williams.
Great insight from Chuck Price. Third down play. Flowers. Oh, that was a dangerous throw. He wanted to go to Kirkpatrick, but was thrown into traffic. And it's 4th down. Cleveland needs a stop here badly.
Not an opportunity here that you really want to squander if you're Crenshaw. And they're not going to kick a field goal because that's something they don't do.
They don't even kick PATs. They go for 2 every time.
Yeah, walking away from here without points isn't the end of the world because you're going to have them backed up. But again, they come out of the second half on firing on all cylinders, and it's going to be a fatigue factor. We have still 8 minutes left in third. A lot of football to be played.
4th down play for Flowers in the offense of Crenshaw. Flowers to the air on the slant pattern. It's caught for a touchdown, and it's Roger Shackelford, his second TD reception of the night. He caught the first one, and he catches this one on a dart from Daniel Flowers.
Randy, I know before the play you thought that was where they were going, and they did, and that's the second touchdown they've gotten off that play.
So the Crenshaw Cougars making a statement here tonight. That builds the lead to 20-3, and they will go for the 2, which they normally do. 2-point conversion. I think one of the things Crenshaw's got to be thrilled about is the passing game tonight from Daniel Flowers. We know he's a great runner, but he's thrown the 2 scores to Shackelford. They go for 2, and he's throwing again. In the corner, what a grab, what a catch. Keon Rattler, 2 more for the Shaw.
That Dorsey Crenshaw game coming up is going to be one heck of a showdown. I love what I see from Crenshaw.
22-3, the Cougars build their advantage here in Reseda, California. What a catch by Rattler. The throw to Kirkpatrick was the TD.
1, 2, 3 throw, ball up at the ear, delivered on time. Touchdown number 2 on that same play.
Then this one to Keon Rattler.
You can't throw it in a better place than that. I love that catch. 1 foot in, high pointed the ball. Dangerous on the goal line because they can throw like that.
It'll be up to the Cavaliers now to motor. They need to get going offensively to try to get back in the game. They can't have a basketball term, empty possessions. They need to score just about every time. They're capable of doing it. Pooch kick causes some havoc. Beautiful job by Nicholas Reyna to fall on the football for the Cavs. And let's see what they can do here. They need to mount a drive desperately.
Randy, in 2002 to 2010, when Crenshaw was really on that run with all of those great teams, including Dion Henley and Ajane Harris, that was actually before Henley. But what they did was they put a team in this situation, and their defense would step on the jugular. This is where they were at their best, when they forced you to go out of character to catch them. They're going to let these kids run with their ears pinned back.
Avalos looking to go to work, and he hands it off 3 yards up the middle, and that's really just a drive starter as Maldonado carried the football. They really like Brandon Maldonado here, veteran player, excellent on defense. In fact, he has 5 tackles for a loss from his linebacker position and a couple sacks. And offensively, he's been good. Scored a touchdown this season, an effective running back.
This game doesn't have a whole lot of meaning at this point to Cleveland in terms of where they end up in league, but it has a lot to do with where they end up in the playoffs.
2nd down, 7. Pass near side. Beautifully designed for Jesus Fuentes, but again, the speed of number 10, DeAndre Kirkpatrick. When you were talking about the playoffs, and I know you mentioned the likes of Birmingham out of the West Valley as being probably the top-ranked team.
They will be, but I think Palisades and King Drew are not far behind, and that's assuming Palisades beats Venice for the Western League. Pally's got Jack Thomas, who's really a preseason Player of the Year candidate, but the winner of the Western League will be formidable.
Carson, San Pedro, and Banning are very good out of the Marine League as well. That's probably the group that'll be part of the open division. Maybe a missed handoff, and Avalos takes it to the outside. That's a nice job. And there's going to be a penalty in these games. Oh, it's getting a little aggressive there. We hate to see this. Cooler heads will prevail.
Well, the first shove was by Cleveland as he blocked the Crenshaw player into the band and the TV monitor, but I think the Crenshaw player gets caught because it's always the second guy.
Well, the best thing really would be offsetting, but we'll see how they play.
I don't think I'd want to rile Crenshaw up anymore. I think this would have been a better situation for Cleveland to quietly go down the field and score. I like to see Coach Whitehead out there taking control of his players. You just have to think about Coach Garrett not being here, why he is not here. It is one of the bigger secrets. His teams just are always disciplined. They don't late hit, they don't fight, and believe it or not, inner city teams can play well and be well behaved. That's one of his trademarks. He really controls his team. Randy, I think without replay, they're going to have a hard time getting this one sorted out.
Yeah, this is difficult. You got to get the input from fellow officials here to try to determine who hit who and what went down. That's why I think offsetting is probably the best way to go. We'll see what they decide to do.
The referee over here, who was on the spot, was really watching the ball carrier and the tackler. The activity came between a downfield blocker and a defender and almost ended up in the crowd.
Well, Mr. Clayton, our lead official, got some work to do here as he sorts this out. You know, his name is Clayton. He's from Miami. Of course, Mark Clayton was a great receiver for the Dolphins. He said wherever he goes, when he was living in Miami, he would get comped because they thought he was Mark Clayton of the Dolphins.
So now I understand the confusion that they're having down on this field. If you lived in Miami and you were getting comped everywhere you were, are you going to come to L.A. and join the L.A. unit of officials?
Why not?
I'm staying on South Beach, Randy.
Yeah, well,
I'm taking the freebies in the South Beach.
Again, you make a good point here, Chuck, without the replay. This is each official coming in and trying to decide this. And we're going to have replay. Maybe they need it. Avalos skips out of bounds. And then the illegal block from the Cleveland player, and then the shove. So that was obvious. That was
so I think the first foul
is on
Cleveland. And if they don't call it, they're going to get Crenshaw on the retaliation. But there was nothing else other than that. Nobody left the bench.
Yeah, but they're not seeing what we saw. But they did throw the flag on that initial hit by the Cleveland team.
We can phone down to them.
No, we could.
I would. I don't think Vicky Lagos would mind. I don't think Trent Cornelius would mind.
Well, let's finally get the results of this deliberation.
There's multiple fouls on the play. Personal foul, Cleveland. Personal foul, Crenshaw. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Cleveland. those penalties be enforced in the order in which they occurred.
I believe he got that perfectly, Randy.
I think he did.
He didn't even get to see our replay, and that was perfect. When you retaliate, you're guilty. You walk away. The third one was the second Cleveland player joining the fray. I don't think you could have done that any better without replay or with replay. He nailed it.
I thought they would go at the offsetting, and especially after the first two. But let's take another look at this. And again, they did get it right. See the scramble?
We missed a hold at the point of attack, that's for sure.
Well, there's a hold on every play. You know that.
Play one, and then he gets off of the TV monitor and shoves. There's number 2.
It's first down at the 45 of Cleveland as they retreat back. But they own possession, and it's 1st and 10. After all that,
we're back to where we started.
Cleveland is back in their own territory, and they're trailing by 19.
And Crenshaw got another breather.
They really did.
Watch the pass rush coming after the breather.
And also, with that time-consuming deliberation, it rests both teams and breaks some of the momentum of Crenshaw. Here's the deep ball. Would have been picked off, but he's out of bounds. Terrific effort by Jason Pippert, who already has an interception tonight.
The program doesn't have all of the right information, but Pippert looks to be at least 6'1", 6'2". He's got good size.
And great range. See him come over, read the play.
Goes up for it at its highest point. Unbelievable.
Yep. Clearly out of bounds. Well, they had, the Cavaliers, some success with the deep throw in the first half, and Crenshaw's adjusted.
Hopefully that was a halftime adjustment. It did seem like they were vulnerable on the deep pass. When you're playing a zone like they're playing, 3 deep, just keep them in front of you.
22-3 Crenshaw clinging to a 19-point advantage. And again, the running game has been denied all evening long. No chance for Oda Bunme, and again, the brilliance of DeAndre Kirkpatrick.
Randy, when you look at Crenshaw and they sit in that really vanilla, clear cover 3 when the safety's deep, the corners are back, and they're all backpedaling, and you don't take advantage of that if you're Cleveland, you know, you can't block Kirkpatrick. He's all over the place, as you just saw in that highlight. But you have to take advantage of what they give you. And if you see cover 3, attack the seams.
DeAndre Kirkpatrick is as intense a player as we've seen this season. So dynamic. 3rd and long. Avalos again running. And goes down before he gets hit. Smart play. Didn't want to take the punishment, and it's 4th and long.
And he looked up, and they were sitting in cover 2, and a good job over there by mixing up the coverages. Don't let them know ahead of time. And
they're going to go for it, it looks like.
They have no choice.
4th and 9.
Good to see Jerry Perez back on the field there, number 11.
They need about 9.5 yards to pick up the first down. Probably the ball game. You never know, of course, but this is probably it. Huge play in Reseda. Avalos needs the conversion. Avalos over the middle, intercepted, picked off again. Roger Shackelford, what a ball game he's had. 2 touchdowns on offense and a pick here.
Great job on defense by Crenshaw. They walked up Henderson to the line of scrimmage. He showed blitz, and at the snap of the ball, he dropped back. He spied Avalos, kept him in, and here you look at Avalos trying to throw the ball over those rangy safeties and middle linebackers, and I'm very impressed with the Shaw, Randy. You knew I was when they got off the bus. Call me a homer, that's who I am.
Well, your dad coached there for what, 8 years?
Some of the best years of his coaching career, if not the best, were at Crenshaw. Just being a part of that community and the kids and the families, nothing better. You know, the kids that he coached that went into the NFL, LAPD, fire department, just the success stories are countless, and the relationships last forever.
How about this performance by number 2, Shackelford? He's been great on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Shaw looking for the knockout blow. Little option here. Henderson turning the corner. Brought down by Paul Deanna.
A great look for them to run the option because he's such a threat with the ball. Now he's got somebody to pitch it to. If they don't commit, he turns it up. We saw that the other night at Southgate and Legacy, and here's a real threat with the ball on the option.
Stayed in bounds, keeps that clock going down to 4:20 left in the third. Things are looking rosy for the Cougars out of the Coliseum League. Trying to improve to 4-1. Cleveland would be one of the best 1-4 teams in the city section if they fall tonight. That's the tough schedule. Flowers taking to the air. Into and out of the hands of Fitzpatrick. Kirkpatrick.
Never going to criticize Terrence Whitehead, but I'm not sure Coach Garrett's throwing the ball at this stage of the game. I think he's going to run the clock, get on the bus, put one more score on him, and get back to the Shaw.
I don't disagree, but I think he's trying to diversify the offense there. They picked up 7 on first down, so it's third and short. And that tells you they have 2 downs to try to pick up the first down. But running the ball is the safe play right now.
So many weapons to run the ball, starting with your quarterback, Flowers.
Yeah, Henderson's great. Joshua Jones has been good as well. Jones cutting it upfield, and there he goes. Joshua Jones is gone. Touchdown, Crenshaw.
There you go, Coach. Great call.
They knew they could get it done on third down, and the Cougars might have just applied the knockout blow.
They did that about 5 minutes ago, but I appreciate you being there for
I'm an
Cleveland.
optimistic guy. Yeah.
You're a glass half full guy, and that thing is bone dry, Randy.
It is. You get me thirsty, by the way. 28-3. When you think about it, this is a 28-point run. You know, the Cavaliers got the ball on that turnover to start the game. They kicked an early field goal, and that's been it. It's been all Crenshaw. They forced 5 turnovers on defense, and their offense has worked its magic as well. This run will not get there, and the 2-point conversion will fail. It's one of the few times on the night that the Cavaliers able to deny him on the ground. But an open division-looking team are the Crenshaw Cougars.
We are getting ready for the second half, and somebody said they predicted a 28-10 final. Crenshaw, I got to find that guy. He might be right on.
Well, let's go back to the Jones touchdown run.
He's explosive, Randy. They are just that versatile in the backfield. When they run that split back combination with Henderson and Jones, and a guy like Flowers sits in the middle, goodness, that's a great tandem trio. Great trio of ball carriers. What really makes them look impressive and intimidating is when they line Kirkpatrick up in a tight slot. He looks like a tough cover for almost any linebacker.
The Cougars kicking off again, and a stunned homecoming crowd here at Cleveland High School. Coming back to the near side is Fuentes. Then the Cougars get down there and cover the kick. Nicely by Scott Cook. He made the stop on the specialty unit.
When teams beat Crenshaw, they will beat them straight ahead, not side to side. They're not a team that can outflank.
But it's not easy to beat them straight ahead either because they're so strong up the middle, physical guys. You can't move Zevin Davis 55 out of there. He's outstanding.
Well, Meebane, you know, Jeremiah Alexander, and then Kai Wheeler. Yeah. He's the fridge. He's the 6'3", tall, built like a refrigerator. Guy's a horse.
Your nicknames, these players are going to have an identity crisis. They won't know who they are.
They're all terms of endearment. They love it.
You've labeled them. Fuentes looking to set up the screen, but that's underthrown. Wanted to go to Bunme.
You look up and you see Kirkpatrick come barreling down the A gap. You're getting rid of that ball. He's a tough kid to throw a screen pass over.
It's been a long third quarter here in Reseda. It's been a tough one for the host Cavaliers. 5 turnovers for Cleveland in this game. You can't win doing that, at least normally. We'll see if they can overcome that. It won't be easy.
It's not a good column to have the big number in the stat category.
Flag.
Nothing crazier than high school football, and under any circumstances, you think about
Offsides. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
you think about Hamilton going to Crenshaw and beating Crenshaw. That's the first time Hamilton's beaten Crenshaw since somewhere in the late 70s, maybe 76 was the last time a Hamilton team beat Crenshaw.
Again, they come offside. That'll be discipline.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Cavaliers will take it.
And when we talk about Hamilton and Thaddeus Bro, Coach Asante may be right. That might be the best ninth grade quarterback in the country.
Well, he says, Elijah says that quarterback someday will be the first draft pick in the NFL. That's how high he's on. You know, Elijah's known to make statements and build the resume for his players, but Thaddeus Bro is really, really good. That is one that's overthrown. Too high for Jesus Fuentes.
I would imagine he's the best ninth grade quarterback in Southern California and maybe even the country, but that bodes well for Hamilton as a ninth grader.
And you have them in your Division II right now, right? If the playoffs were to begin today, you have Hamilton as one of the top seeds.
I think it's actually Division
D1.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
D1.
I think Hamilton's very high up there. They're a top 4 seed. If they upset Venice or Palisades, they're in the open. And I don't think Coach Asante cares one bit.
I don't want to drop them to D2. They should be in D1. Second down and 10. Go to Bunme. Again, not a lot of operating room. Tripped up by Scott Cook. Third down and long. That's been the story here for Cleveland tonight, other than the quarterback Fuentes picking up some yards on the ground. No holes for the running backs. They've been shut down.
The big fellas know how to control their gaps. Even on pass rush, they don't go crazy. They occupy blockers. They allow the linebackers to get through, but 4 guys can eat up those 5 blockers at this level in a heartbeat.
Well, 55, Zevin Davis. He's been dominant on that line of scrimmage. Avalos again running for his life. Hit out of bounds. A soft hit from Terry Henderson.
Almost good sportsmanship the way he hit him. Wouldn't
We
you
can say that. The quarterback doesn't feel that way, but you're right. He let up on the hit. That was a very good play by Henderson.
You know, you want to coach a kid to play the game the right way. And if this is in the first quarter, you hit him to put him out of the game with a clean hit like that. But at the stage of this game, hat off to him for playing that game with some respect.
Here we go again. 4th and 7 for the Cavaliers. Cleveland doesn't convert here. Crenshaw will have tremendous field position. Avalos needs to find a receiver, and it's dropped. It's been that kind of night for Cleveland High School. Kobe Green can't believe it.
Crenshaw played a very soft zone defense with a 4-man rush. I don't think Coach Whitehead's pleased with that coverage. Those second-level guys were very, very soft in their zone. If he catches that ball, it's a first down, and that's a teaching moment. You can't let a kid get to the sticks on 4th and 9.
That being said, 28-3, owning ball possession in Cleveland territory. Right now, this is a very surprising start. We expected a tight game. Not shocking that Crenshaw could come out here and win. But this is a 25-point margin at this juncture.
Surprising in many ways, the fact that they overcame the very early adversity. Usually teams drop their heads and quit. That was really positive step number 1. The way they can shut down what has been a very potent running attack, that was really the takeaway.
53, Jacob Garcia, one of the real leaders of the defensive line for Cleveland. See if he can help make a stop here. Flowers still in as the quarterback. Henderson spinning to the perimeter. From behind, Kobe Green got him.
Kobe Green brings down Terry Henderson from behind.
Looks like Crenshaw's put in a new player at the right guard position. Really clean white jersey, number 65, Carson White. Probably a great move for Whitehead, given a guy like Mebane or whoever he's given a break to. But that's a pretty big body for a fresh jersey.
Right now, you establish the ground game, churn out a few first downs, and get back on the bus with the victory. We're late in the third quarter. Crenshaw in total control. Lauer still looking to throw the football. He wanted Kirkpatrick, incomplete. Are you shocked they threw the ball there? I kind of am this time.
Not shocked, disappointed. Run the clock, get your thin roster on the bus healthy. If you don't need to extend the game, don't do it.
Of course, they're thinking, and I said it before, they have 4 downs. They're not looking at it as, a third down situation and then punt. They're looking at, if we don't convert here, we go for it on 4th down. And they've had success on 4th down tonight. They need 6 to move the sticks. They'll run it. Jones into the secondary, has a first down. Joshua Jones.
That's their formation. That's their bread and butter, and that's their go-to guy.
Well, they've run the ball effectively tonight. Cleveland has not. These Cougars are blocking up front.
And Terry Henderson does a wonderful job as a lead blocker, just like Jones does for him. Really, the way they run that play gives them a lot of play action, bootleg options. Once they establish that throughout the league play, the thing Terrence Whitehead will do off of that will multiply.
Henderson is the lone running back. And he's going to get caught in his backfield. Juan Mata able to take him down. 69 lost his helmet.
Look at the spin move. This is a Madden style spin move.
I like the takedown by Mata.
Juan Mata on the tackle there.
Got to believe he's a wrestler here at Cleveland with that takedown.
WWE or LA City CIF?
LA City CIF. Final minute of the third quarter, owned entirely by the Cougars, sitting on top of a 25-point cushion. And they are not in a hurry. Second down and the better part of 10.
You don't want me to spend a lot of time talking about Garrett, but that's like, okay, there's no elephant in the room. Let's not talk about it. He's sorely missed. He's the winningest coach in LA City history. Why is he not out here, Randy?
Good question. Has some issues with the administration. I'll let them work it out. Here's a pass over the middle. There's that man again, DeAndre Kirkpatrick. Number 10. So good at both ends of the football field, defensively and offensively. From his tight end position, and this ball's right on target. And that's how the third quarter ends. With Crenshaw on the move. They know they're going to the fourth quarter with a huge lead. The Cougars are well on their way in Reseda. We'll step out. We'll have the fourth quarter next. LA City Section Football Game of the Week is presented by Brett Stye, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita. How can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly. Serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188.
Randy, what do we do on Friday nights if it weren't for Brett Stye sponsoring this LA City LA36 Game of the Week?
Well, it's a nice gesture, and we appreciate it. Plus his involvement with the other sponsors, Lee's Tires, of course, Red West Pizza. Very good stuff.
He said he wanted to make an impact on the city section for football, get schools from the Coliseum League, the Northern League, the Marine League, the Western League, take care of the kids. I want to do it. Whatever you need, I'll make sure you can televise it. And look at the drone.
Look at the offensive alignment for Crenshaw and the defensive stance of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Third down play as we begin the fourth quarter. Flowers has running room. First down and a lot more. And he skips out of bounds with another first down for Crenshaw. What a job by this junior quarterback, Daniel Flowers.
That's the play action that they create off of their bread and butter. He decides to run with the ball, but sitting in the flat wide open is big Kirkpatrick. The options were unlimited that time.
There's Terrence Whitehead. He has a lot of options. But if you're Mario Guzman, you've had a difficult schedule to say the least. You know, it has not been easy. They lost at Harvard Westlake. They've played Crespi. They lost at Franklin. Now they're going to apparently lose to Crenshaw. What do you say to your kids after losing tonight?
The teams that we've played in the preseason are going to allow us to win the Division I championship because we've been battle tested in August and September, so we could go get the ring in November.
Flowers has them lined up. Right at the 10, so this is first and goal. Jones stepping right through for an easy touchdown. Joshua Jones and Crenshaw right now in complete domination mode. 34-3.
What do you think Tarek is thinking right now? I love Tarek. Tarek is one of
I do the show with him every week.
Who was he thinking was coming off of the bus? This is the Shaw. They walk off the bus, they say, here we are. If you could out-hit us and run faster than us, you can beat us. That's what you need to do. And say what you want. It's something that's stuck with their identity for the last 50 years.
Yeah, they've made a statement. And again, if they can win the Coliseum League or come close, if they win the Dorsey game next week, they're in a position to make the Open Division playoffs. Of course, King Drew will have a lot to say about that as well.
They're one of the best 8 teams in the city section, and you can't tell me otherwise, Randy. You'll try.
No,
you'll find a Valley
school. I'm convinced.
Mm.
It's not the 2-point conversion they wanted, and they didn't get it. Fall flats. Ja'Cory Starks is denied. But Joshua Jones is having quite the night. Another rushing touchdown for the running back.
The push from that offensive line was wild. There were defensive linemen 7 yards downfield.
34-3.
Coach Garrett.
That has quieted this homecoming crowd.
Coach Garrett would be proud of these kids. He spent the entire offseason with them. He's built this program. He's built this team. Whitehead and Coach Sacheray, by the way, who was a mainstay on his staff for 25 years, came out of retirement to volunteer to make sure this team can continue with Garrett's leadership subliminally. But this team has a Garrett stamp on it, and I'm not done with it, Randy.
It's a live ball. Picked up. Cleveland will have it, and we'll see what they can do with it here. Really, you'd like to see, from a Cleveland perspective, a nice drive and finish a drive with some points. Obviously, back by 31, it's highly unlikely they're going to come back. So, all the way, that is. But you'd like to see them come down the field and get rewarded. I mean, they've had a number of nice drives where they turned it over. Crenshaw forced mistakes. And that's really been the difference in the game. Crenshaw has been the better team. They've dominated the line of scrimmage.
It's homecoming. We're not going to win this game. I'm going to start playing players for the future, start teaching backups what it's like to play in our stadium at night in front of a lot of people, and build a little bit of depth as we march into November. That would be my strategy, because you're not going to win this game.
34-3. Just another lovely night in the Valley as Kobe Green latches onto this one. Despite the score, we've been able to witness a great player in Kobe Green, both sides of the ball, much like DeAndre Crenshaw. Green for Cleveland, little hobbled, battle-tested, and you got to love him because he's going to fight through it and try to stay out there.
He's still running slant passes and drags with guys like Kirkpatrick in the middle. It's just not where I'd want my first liners to be. And if I'm Terrence Whitehead, I'm taking my stars off the field. Let's build some depth.
Feel like the coaches never feel like they're safe. Fuentes to the air. That's caught. Finally, the big play. Beautiful catch down the field. Unfortunately, the young man is shaken up. We have a timeout for the injury. I believe it was Perez that made the catch, Jeremiah Perez, and he went down hard, and everybody will take a knee.
Hey, Randy, what about Jen Parcio?
Well, she's been a nice add, one might say, to our television show. We thank Jenna on a 70-degree night. It's been 70, 71, and 72 on our 3 games. What temperatures we have here in SoCal. But Jenna's been wonderful to have aboard.
Randy, think about this. Jenna, Pepperdine student. She's 21 years old, pursuing a broadcast journalism career. Takes a Friday night gig, shows up at Cleveland High School. Within 10 minutes, she's eating Chick-fil-A on Shabbat with Randy Rosenblum and Chuck Price. You throw her into action. You look at her grab Terrence Whitehead, go into the locker room at halftime, and oh my God, she nailed it. And Whitehead was like Belichick. She's Aaron Andrews. They crushed it. That's the MVP.
She's been lighting up the room all night. So have the Cougars. Let's take a look at what happened here on that toss over the middle. Nice play for Cleveland. Unfortunately, the young man was shaken up.
Oof. Right to the knee.
He's limping, but he is coming off the field. Number 11, Jeremiah Perez.
You know, and a kid like Rattler's taught, don't take a defenseless receiver by the head or the chest. So what does he do? He goes low, and I don't think he tried to go helmet to knee. I think he was concerned about the proper way to attack a receiver.
See if Cleveland can push it into the end zone and get rewarded for one of these drives. This has been the area where they've turned it over. (34-3) Crenshaw. And again, the hitting is ferocious. It's not been easy for Oda Bundy all night. Oda Bundy has taken a lot of punishment, a lot of good hits.
So Shackelford was a late addition to our roster, and what a great addition it was. He's in on plays. He can hit.
The 2 additions we got were Shackelford and Joshua Jones.
Oh, by the way, we got these other 2 kids that were on our roster. It's
we have 2 guys we'd like to add. Second down, 10. That one's dropped and picked up, and Fuentes trying to find a target. That's a nice job of improvising. You love that. He finds Maldonado. And you can't do it much better than that. What an effort by Julio Avalos.
That was a nice play. He drifted, he drifted, he drifted. Look, the last thing the kid really wanted to do was turn it upfield and take the punishment. They're almost baiting him into running, but he buys time, finds the open receiver, pinpoints the ball. And again, can we be the best team in Division I? Look, we're moving the ball on Crenshaw. But that's a good football team they're moving against, and they'll be better for it.
Good job by Brandon Maldonado to come back to help his quarterback. Another throw this side and another pick. These defenders, they read and react so well. Shackelford again. What a game. If the game ball would go to anyone, I think it goes to Roger Shackelford. And there's a lot of Cougars that have contributed. But he has been everywhere. Caught a couple touchdowns. He has multiple interceptions. He has been Johnny on the spot. Number 2 is trying harder at number 2, but he's number 1 in the hearts of Cougar fans.
That is a spectacular cornerback. Slowly backpedaling, eye on the quarterback the whole time. The receiver in front of him. Watch his break on the ball. Listen, he's special. He's very special. So they give us number 2, and then they give us Jones as these late additions. Oh, by the way, we got these 2 kids suiting up today. One of them's Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
The other one's Tyron Williams, but we just added him.
34-3. Cougars are home free. The only thing really in doubt, one would think, is the final score. 6 turnovers for the Cavaliers. Flag is out. I mean, that's a credit to the Cougars and their defense.
You know, Randy,
to take it away from them 6 times, Chuck. That's just athletic ability, getting to the football and making plays.
They're dynamic. They've watched film. They've watched a lot of film. They understood what Cleveland was going to do, and they took it away. When they're fresh, they're very hard to move on.
Well, they're coming off a 57-0 drubbing of Maya Angelou. They put 39 on Fairfax earlier in the year. But I think they would tell you this is their finest performance at this point of the season. And they've run the ball effectively. You can see how dirty the jerseys are.
So let's talk about that. That green grass with dirt. This is LA City football.
It is. By the way, they're going to get turf here. They're going to start working on this field and get the turf in January. So next year, when we come back to Cleveland in Reseda, it will hopefully be done and we'll have a turf field. But those soiled jerseys just stand out in the white. You're either very, very good or very uncoordinated if you have jerseys like that. And these guys are very good. Second out and 10. Clock is winding down. Flowers looking always to create, but he's bottled up and in trouble. Where to go there?
You never want to get critical of a coach, but I have no problem saying it. Run the ball, Coach Whitehead. What are you doing? Extending the game, risking your kids, running up the score. No reason to do that. Run the ball, Coach.
Well, that's as good as a run because he never released the ball and went down as Flowers was sacked and hit hard by Adam Garbish with an opportunity to play late in the game, and he makes a play for his Cavaliers. Third down and long. You can see we're under 8 minutes left. The Cougars enjoying life in the Valley.
Quick kick.
Well, they think they can break any play, so we'll throw into the side. Go to the big guy, Kirkpatrick. Gives him a little bit of breathing room, well short of the necessary yardage. Keeps the clock going as he stayed in bounds.
Are we going to see a punt, or are they going to go for it on 4th and 20?
You got to think they're going to punt here.
Out of punt formation?
Who knows? We hadn't seen a punt here by the Cougars. They haven't had to punt the ball. You would think number 3 will punt it. Daniel Flowers, the quarterback. I think he did have one kick earlier in the game.
It was out of offensive formation.
Yeah, it was.
4th and 6.
Yeah, so this will be his second punt, you would think. And Daniel gets it away. One rolls out of bounds. Remember, he had that long kick in the first half. So the Cavaliers will have good field position, looking to get some offensive production, but there is another flag out.
Coach Garrett took his grandson tonight to Top Golf for his birthday.
How do you know that?
Might have been his nephew.
How do you know that?
Well, when I called to get a little bit of information on his team, and he referred me to Terrence Whitehead, and I asked him what was going on at Crenshaw. And he said,
no yardage comes with that foul.
Nothing really to talk about because I'm under investigation. And I don't know for what, but I'm under investigation. I said, well, what do you suspect? And he goes, it's hard to suspect when I've done nothing. I just wish they'd tell me what I did. Sounds like...
Well, we know what his team is doing tonight. They're doing very well. Maldonado, by the way, number 1 in the backfield. He's a multi-purpose guy. Avalos looking to throw it and has an open receiver. Nice dance on the outside by Fuentes, and he is elusive. Nice job by Jesus.
I love Fuentes now. I love him a lot more than I did 2 quarters ago because he's actually the kid who's fighting for all this extra yardage. If I'm the coach, I'm going to yell, get down. you don't want to take that abuse. Catch the ball, get out, come back to the huddle. I love the fight in Fuentes. He makes my all Randy Rosenblum team. I love that fight. At this level and at this point in the game, it shows me a lot.
How do you know he makes my team?
You got to be tough to make your team.
Okay.
Fuentes, he's all heart. Yeah,
Okay.
he's on.
I like Kobe Green. I like DeAndre Kirkpatrick. They're on the Randy Rosenblum team. I know that. First down. Cavs looking to finally stick it in the end zone. Avalos running forward. Hit from behind. Again, that team speed. Anthony Washington able to chase him down. Washington with the clean uni, number 20.
It's a fresh body. Great ball control or ball security by him, knowing that he was being chased down behind. And in certain situations, I look forward to coming back from our break and getting out to the Marine League, right? We got Gardena Carson, and now that we've got an unbelievable sideline reporter, we get great information from Jenna during the games coming back from break.
And after Carson and Gardena, we'll have Pally and Venice, which figures on paper to be the championship game in the Western League.
We might be the #1 rated broadcast team in California.
Okay, here's a play fake and a throw. Inside the 5-yard line, Kobe Green. Nice catch by Kobe. It's first and goal.
I mean, think about it, Randy. You're the guru. You're the mentor. This is the 3rd game I've ever done in my life. I'm halfway to 122 years old. Jenna's a sideline reporter, as a student at Pepperdine. You put this dream team together. I mean, our audience is probably tired of listening to me. I know you are, but I like this. Nobody listens to me like this at home. Are you kidding?
You're just going off right now, aren't you? Timeout on the field, 34-3. Cavaliers on the doorstep looking to punch it in. Shaw takes the timeout. They're playing some reserves now with 4:43 left. Well, total domination by the Shaw tonight.
You know who the athletic director, vice principal at Crenshaw is in charge of athletics? His name is Wilder. His son, Kerry Wilder, defensive tackle at Gardena Sarah, committed to Ohio State University.
Yeah,
from what I hear, he will be
great
at the Sarah game tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Kerry Wilder is one of the best players in Southern California.
Maybe I'll call Mr. Wilder and find out if he knows what's going on with Garrett.
You're really into that investigation, aren't you?
The guy means so much to that school, that program, that unless there's something here, I just don't like it.
Cavaliers, again, can they finally get it home? Maldonado not quite there yet, down to the 3, maybe the 2. Keeps the clock going. We're down to 4.5 minutes remaining. Randy Rosenblum, Chuck Price, Jenna Parcio on hand. Hope you enjoyed it. This is the land. That's what they call the facility here in Reseda at Cleveland High School. I formation, Maldonado, the tail in the tandem. And he is not going to get there, but the leg drive is getting him down to the 1. You know, when these ball carriers have looked up from Cleveland, there's a cougar right in their face.
Daylight is literally nothing they would see, even if this game were played at 3 o'clock. You love not being able to see the jersey numbers in the front of the player. If you can't see their jersey number on the back, not a very good sign.
3rd down and about a yard to go for a Cavalier touchdown.
Crenshaw.
Shaw is burning its timeouts to rest their players.
So Whitehead takes the field this season as a head coach at a school that's been around since 1965. Garrett's been the head coach at that school since, I believe, 1987. That's a lot of time. So for 22 years before Garrett, there were 4 head coaches. Whitehead is the 6th coach in Crenshaw history to take the field.
I always said that Robert Garrett, he's an unusual guy, but I think he's phenomenal for the city section in that he's personable, can be moody, great football coach, can be very welcoming, but he's a personality. And I think you need that You need a face of the section, and in many ways he is, and he is beloved in the city of Crenshaw. So we'll see if he comes back down the road. They're all in tight. See again if the Cavaliers can stick it in the end zone. Avalos on the push. Flags are out. And the Cavaliers finally got him into the end zone, but there's a flag down, and it's a procedure. The Eagles make that play look so easy, don't they? It really isn't.
That play comes in from the coach, and Avalos says, "Coach, I've had enough. Let's run wide. Let me toss it to somebody. I'm going to have Mebane and Wheeler fall on me for the 34th time."
A little no mas, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think Avalos has really played a tough game. I mean, he's had some mistakes with some picks. Some of them were deflections. It wasn't all his fault, but he's given his all, 100% all the time by this quarterback. Gotta like that, Julio Avalos. And he wasn't the starting quarterback early in the season. The number one starter got injured, so that changed plans here. They had to rearrange the offense, and he got the job, and he's trying his best. Avalos throwing, has his man, Maldonado. I think he got in, but he lost the ball. Looked like a touchdown. No indication. The ball came out, but he had grabbed it. He looked to be in the end zone.
If he fell on the ball, it's a touchdown.
Should be a touchdown, but we never got an indication. There it is. We knew he was in there. That's the right call. The Cavaliers get a touchdown, but even the score they had to wait for.
Great play call, great design, and great execution. So you look at Cleveland and say, okay, how are we going to do against Birmingham? And how will that score compare to what we did tonight against Crenshaw? And when you look on the sidelines and you think, God, can Jeremiah Perez return from injury? And do we get through this game healthy? Why couldn't we upset Birmingham and win the West Valley League? Why can't we beat Granada Hills? I think they can.
And El Camino Royals, we had about LA36 over the last few years, they're improved. Well, we at least get to see Samuel Cerritos again, this wonderful kicker. He's going to try to drive it through out of the hold of Ruben Lopez. Cerritos, 15 for 15 this year on PATs. You think I'll jinx him here?
You just jinxed him. This one's not going through, Randy.
I'm saying it's going in.
Nope.
He's driving it through. There is no question that Cerritos will make this PAT. Told you. 34-10.
Well, I'm just glad he didn't kick it a little farther because it would have hit my car because I didn't get the private parking that Jenna got. I don't know why, but that's okay. He didn't kick it far enough.
Nice throw to Maldonado, and it was a touchdown. The fumble was well after he crossed the goal line. I don't think there's any question of that. He's in the end zone right here, and then he dropped the ball. Well, maybe it was a little closer than I thought.
I think that ball was jarred out.
On second look.
Yes.
So he fell on the ball, and then he scored.
We have the benefit of replay. I just can't see. So it's.
I'm not going to argue with the officials. It's a touchdown for the Cavaliers. They'll take it in the final 3 minutes of the game, and they're still having fun on homecoming. That's probably the most important thing. Cleveland puts on a good show here, don't they?
Yeah, Pharrell Williams, I feel happy, and the band can play. The arts program at Cleveland's spectacular. Did you see the halftime show?
Oh,
amazing.
Marvelous, yeah.
Acapellas.
Floats. You like those floats?
Floats were great. An acapella group singing the national anthem. Spectacular. Hats off to Cleveland Magnet Charter High School.
It's a football game that's about 2.5 hours old. A little bit longer than a lot of them. But Crenshaw has come here into the San Fernando Valley and made a big, big impression on everyone. Statement game for the Cougar.
Oh.
Did they get it back? They did.
3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions, and we're tied.
Lopez with the recovery. That's a little optimistic, don't you think?
No chance. Yeah, I just had to put it out there.
Yeah, but if they get another score, then we looked like we had a better game than we really did.
If they score on the first 3 plays, we probably need to get Jenna down in front of Coach. That'd be a perfect time for an on-field interview.
You've been an agent in the past, right? You've represented a lot of people. It sounds like you want to represent Jenna. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that was an unbelievable performance at halftime. Cleveland was 2 plays away from taking the lead at halftime. She's prepared to do Cleveland. Pick 6, she's got to run over and find Whitehead, and now it's a whole different line of questioning. Well, that's thinking on your feet. That's good stuff. Think about it.
From the 47, Avalos going back to work. Right up the middle, goes down. Some contact there, but ruled incidental, not a penalty. That's what Avalos can do, though. He's a nice field general, runs the football.
He's a tough kid. He's like Fuentes. If I'm Avalos, I'm like, Coach, let's just take a knee. Because if there's nobody open, I got to scramble. These guys can hit. I don't need this. And I got to tell you what, he's a great quarterback. If I think I'm going to make up 24 points in 3 minutes against these guys, I'll probably throw the ball. But if I don't think that, I'm going to protect my franchise quarterback. Let him hand it off.
2nd and 5 as Avalos scrambles 4-5. Only thing in doubt really is the final score. Avalos to the air and another pick. DeAndre Kirkpatrick, 7 takeaways if this one stands.
Penalty flags on the play.
And again, Avalos' game is running the football.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that takes the interception away from Kirkpatrick. It leaves the tally at 6 turnovers, and the ball will be moved forward and a first down for the Cavs.
So what you saw there is the inevitable, right? It's going to happen. They're going to try and throw again. And the odds are, and we're not here to gamble, the odds are it's going to be an interception, or he's going to lay out one of his receivers, or he's going to get laid out. Run out the clock, keep your kids healthy, protect them. These guys are headhunters. You're giving them a license to hit when all they want to do is get on the bus. Their starters are still on the field. Just run the ball.
Inside the 35 for the Cavs. And there goes Avalos again. And he's out of bounds, and he eludes contact, and he's fortunate because he had defenders running up to hit him hard.
2 injured Crenshaw players.
For a first down the left side, injury on the play.
Yeah, we've had too many guys go down here in the second half.
Randy, I'm in this for the kids. You know that. This drives me nuts.
No, most of it here is exhaustion late in the game.
Because these players are going both sides, and everybody's okay. Again, they're tired. Played a lot of downs. It's been a physical game.
Walking off under his own power.
Inside of 2 minutes to go. Of course, we don't have a 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout like college and NFL. So there's no stoppage here. Don't think that Cleveland will be using its timeouts. But you don't know. If they score here, you know how coaches think. Avalos winding up and throwing another deep one. And a flag. Intended for Kobe Green.
Well, the official who was on the play didn't call the personal foul. The guy deep center field called it. And
interference against the Cougs.
Interference
Against the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Randy, we'll be the #1 broadcast team in California because we really do. We speak the truth. And the truth is, end this game. Run the ball. Take out your starters. Keep your kids healthy. Stop throwing flags. It's moving on midnight. We're trying to protect the kids, not keep them out here till Saturday morning.
Yeah, but you know how kids are. They just love to play. They're having fun.
Mebane wants to get on the bus and have a cheeseburger. They're ready to go.
10 from just outside the 10.
Ball's just outside the 10-yard line. Fuentes. And another stoppage in play and another yellow hanky.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
To the family of Jeremiah Alexander, I just have to tell you again, unbelievable watching your son play football. Referring to him as Mebane is the ultimate compliment when you talk about Crenshaw football. Love the way he plays the game, and can't wait to see him play next week against Dorsey.
Down to a minute 47. Fourth quarter has not been pretty, but Crenshaw doesn't care at this stage. It's going to be a fun bus ride home. Avalos got his man. Good throw to Ricky Torres, number 2.
Ricky Torres, tackled on the play by Keon Rattler.
Will the Cavaliers score here, Randy?
It's second down. I like their chances. I do. There's a lot of substitutions in there for Crenshaw. You know that Cleveland on homecoming would like to make it a little closer in the final tally.
I think Crenshaw will score before Cleveland.
We disagree. Fuentes, the roll. And he's run out of bounds, chased out by Terry Henderson. Henderson's another guy that's had a nice ball game for the show.
Great two-way player. Do you really want your quarterback running against this defense with a minute to go in the game? You've got your whole league season in the playoffs ahead of you. Run the ball. Take it to the end of the game. They're not. How good are they going to be if this quarterback, God forbid, gets hurt? This is a hard-hitting defense, and you're keeping them on the field. They're going to continue to play. And I love Cleveland.
Well, they lost Dominic Fuentes, who's, by the way, Jesus' brother. He was the quarterback, and he's injured and he's out. And that brought in Julio Avalos. So you're right. They could ill afford to lose still another quarterback here at Cleveland. Avalos, again the focal point. Reversing his field. Stumbles as he goes. Can he get there? And again, the speed on the outside. Number 10 again in the mix, DeAndre Kirkpatrick. We do have some intrigue here. Will Cleveland score in the final 49 seconds? We have you on the edge of the seat, right?
Or will Crenshaw score first?
No, it's not going to happen. 34-10. Well, one thing that Cleveland has going for them, if they get into close games, they have a tremendous kicking game. So in league play, and they open up next week against Chatsworth. If it's a close game, their kicking game could be an advantage.
The quarterback runs 25 yards back and forth to get the play from his coach in between plays. He runs 150 yards in between plays. He's got to be winded.
Well, Julio's in shape. Fourth down. This is the last chance to stick it in the end zone.
Well, half the distance. It's a little bit closer.
Penalty flag.
Encroachment on the defense. Half the distance. Fourth down.
Does that put it at the 4-inch line? Is it going to be one final tush push?
Could be.
The Shabbat squat?
Well, you're being creative at this juncture, aren't you?
I get tired when it gets past my bedtime.
What is your bedtime?
Weeknights, it's 9 o'clock. 10 minutes of headline news, and you can't get through the headlines anymore. It's all weather.
This may be the longest last few minutes in history.
That's the first charge timeout.
Cavaliers taking a timeout, looking for a 24-point play.
Listen, it could happen.
No, it can't.
This is what they need to do. Here's the crazy part. They'll probably score, and they'll probably get the onside kick. And here we go again. We could easily be here another 20 minutes. That was Coach Sachere in the Crenshaw huddle. And again, a guy who came out of retirement. He was the mainstay on Garrett's staff for 25 years. Coached the line, both sides of the ball, was really the lieutenant, the right-hand man. What a great guy. And just like Garrett, I mean, they co-parent these kids. They spend more time with them than anybody.
And you look at the history, though. There's just so many championships, the pedigree.
What about Clint Sam? What about Raymond Carter, head coach at Torrance, and his dad, Andre? Here we go.
Last chance for the Cavs. They're right there. Handoff Maldonado, fighting to get there. Kirkpatrick holding on, but he got in. Touchdown for Brandon Maldonado. He's got both of them tonight for the Cavaliers. 34-16.
I guess those who played the over were happy with that score.
You're getting a little silly now, don't you think?
I don't know what to say about that score. It just, to me, you know how
it was a nice effort by Maldonado.
Great effort.
Start
I'm
there.
happy that he scored a touchdown on homecoming. I'm happy that they made the score a little bit closer, but not sure I agree with everything that happened here in the last 2 minutes.
Now we get to see Cerritos again, and the point after. Again, he's perfect, 16 for 16. I didn't jinx him before. He'll knock this one through, don't you think?
Makes it a respectable 34-17 score. Yeah, I think he will.
No question.
Extra point good. Snapped by Jesus Fuentes. Held by Ruben Lopez. And kicked by
34-17 Cougars. And we'll come up the field and we'll have another onside kick with 41.9 remaining. I'm looking forward to going into the Marine League. Here's the Maldonado short touchdown in the effort. I'm looking forward to that. Now, Carson's one of the best teams in the city. Gardina's good. It's going to be a tough game for Gardena, but they're playing at home, and the Colts are for real. They're one of the favorites in the Open Division this year in the city.
And it's hard to read by the opponents that they've played. Obviously, San Pedro, in my opinion, is the #1 team in that league until somebody shows otherwise. They were the city runner-up last year, and to me, it's a one-team race. I don't think Gardena, Carson, or Banning can beat San Pedro this year. But excited to see the Marine League.
Just what we needed, another flag.
Whistle on the play. Offsides on the kickoff side, I believe.
I'm starting to agree with you, Chuck, at this point. No more fouls. It's enough already. We know what the outcome's going to be. I don't care if they're offside, let it go.
Thank you, Randy.
So the next kick will come from the 35 from Cerritos. That's his name. He's not kicking from Cerritos. He is Cerritos. I guess his nickname would be Orange County if he's named Cerritos, right? That makes sense.
I think of Cerritos, I think of a car dealership, or the legendary Frank Mazzotta.
Here's another onside kick, and it's loose again. Cleveland has it again. Diego Becerra with the recovery. You got to be kidding me.
Well, they only need to recover literally 2 more onside kicks to win this game. That's it.
Not
They
going
can-
to happen.
I agree with you, but not before we throw deep a couple more times.
And they could score again.
Yeah, well,
Well, the old axiom for the Cavaliers tonight is we didn't get beat, we just ran out of time. But, they were controlled up front. But you love the fact that they're battling here to what has become a bitter end, trying to make it more respectable. Fuentes running for his life and goes out of bounds.
The follows of the keeper, forced out of bounds by Jeremiah Alexander.
Here's your guy, Jeremiah Alexander, on the far side, chasing him out of bounds.
Mebane sideline to sideline. He's still got gas in that tank.
He's going to go home tonight. His family's going to see him, and they're going to be confused what their son's name is. I mean, you call him Mebane, and his parents have no idea what you're talking about.
Just one of the best 2D linemen to ever play at Crenshaw High School. Scholarship to Cal Berkeley and played on a Super Bowl championship team with the Seattle Seahawks.
So you say Jeremiah's at that level, Jeremiah Alexander?
No, he's not. But
He could be.
one day you never know.
He could be.
Before Mebane was Mebane, he was just Mebane.
Fuentes again, buying some time, climbing the pocket. Somehow finds his target, Kobe Green, who takes it out of bounds, fumbles it and catches it. We have had a little bit of everything in this fourth quarter. Some acrobatics from Green along the sideline.
I will come back out here basketball season with you to watch Cleveland and Crenshaw in basketball. I hear Cleveland's something special in basketball.
Well, they've had a great program here over the years. Of course, when you think of Cleveland hoops, you think of Nick Young, who went on and played in the NBA, played for the Lakers. Nick had that infectious smile, had some great battles with Jordan Farmar of Taft High School during his days here. Final 20 seconds. Can they post one more score? Fuentes got him wide open. Green has the touchdown. Kobe Green. That might have been the best throw of the night. Fuentes protected well, and it was a dart to Kobe Green. 34-23.
I take my hat off to Avalos. He's a competitor. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And at the end of the day, he really and this team did not quit. And in hindsight, was I too critical of this game being extended? And it's not going to change the outcome of the game. But I do believe it shows a side of Cleveland that's going to give them a lot that they can fall back on as they go down into league play.
They will, in all probability, be the favorite next week against Chatsworth. Figures to be a close game. And again, I harken back to the fact that this specialty unit, that's not a good snap, but it was held beautifully, and that's the first miss of the season. That was not really on Cerritos. But I think their kicking game gives them an advantage in close games. Unfortunately for the Cavs tonight, this hasn't been a close game. Let's look back at the touchdown to Kobe Green.
Yeah, it's a nice pass. It's a nice catch, but at the end of the day, and you have to call for what it is. Keon Rattler falls asleep over there. He's looking in the backfield. Does he think that the quarterback can't throw the ball 25 yards? What's going on in his mind?
I think in a way this is good for Terrence Whitehead. I mean, his team lets down at the end of the game, gives up some extra points, some extra touchdowns. Now he takes them back at practice next week and says, guys, we got to play a full 48 minutes. We're lucky we had the big lead, and you can't do that because we're going to be in some good scraps, including one next week against Dorsey, where if we let down at the end of the game, we could lose.
If you're Jim Rose and you're at this game tonight, which he is, and I know Jim
He's
pretty
the
well.
Birmingham coach.
Birmingham coach, Jim Rose, yeah. And I look at Crenshaw, the first thing I think is they're a special teams disaster, and they give up the deep ball with regularity. You have to be disciplined. You have to play special teams. And if you can't do that, you can't win a championship.
Ready for another onside kick?
That would be a pretty good call.
You think? Little intrigue here, but let's see if the Cougars can hold on to it.
It was a double kick.
They dropped it again. Finally got it back. It's a high wire act at Crenshaw on these kicks.
Do they go to victory formation or do they throw the ball?
They're not throwing it. Terry Henderson recovered it on the Good Hands team. And the Cougars, one kneel down, and that should do it. Coming in there, Pedro Vera. Hobbled a little bit, number 61. Fernando Lopez, 62. Some of the guys up front. 54, Jeremiah Alexander has been a stalwart both ways tonight. It's been a long game. See, we kicked it about, 7:15? So about 2:48 in duration to this point. Of course, it was an extended halftime for homecoming. Victory formation for the Cougars.
No timeouts, no flags.
It is over in Reseda. Crenshaw with a 34-23 victory on our LA City section game of the week, presented by Brett Stein. All in all, and I know kind of a sour ending for the Cougars, giving up some scores. Crenshaw was mighty impressive.
They have the pieces to be a formidable team in the Open Division playoffs. They have a legitimate shot to win the Coliseum League. way too many mistakes.
This was an acid test for them, and they passed with flying colors, and they made big plays throughout the game on a very nice evening in the San Fernando Valley. And the passing game, and really Shackelford, number 2, Roger Shackelford, was great. Caught 2 touchdowns, had a couple picks as well.
There were so many players on that roster. You know, obviously Flowers at quarterback is the go-to guy. He's the engine. You see what he did earlier to Shackelford, but the backfield was unbelievable between Henderson and Jones, and obviously on defense we fell in love with guys like Kirkpatrick and Alexander. Rattler made big plays, as you saw. It's a pretty complete football team. Everything that the polish is what they miss. They've got 5 weeks to work on the polish with some really big opponents.
Jones with the touchdown there. Let's thank our sponsors one more time. Tonight's LA City Section Football Game of the Week is presented by Brett Stye, who is helping showcase student athletes in the city doing the right thing. By Lee's Tires in Lomita. How can we help you today? 310-378-8301. By Red West Pizza with locations in Lomita and Wilmington. Festive and family friendly, serving Italian eats in an unfussy setting. It's Red West Pizza. And by Premier Body Method for the best physical sports medicine with a personalized approach. Sports medicine and chiropractic. 818-508-6188. Well, you like this Crenshaw team. They were mighty impressive here tonight with a big victory, 34-23 over the Cavaliers. I don't know if I'm more impressed with their offense or their defense. The speed on offense, the big plays, but defensively to force 6 turnovers. They had a 7th that was wiped out by the penalty. And this is a good Cleveland team. To take it away from them 6 times is very, very impressive.
You could win a championship in the open with defense. That's where it's all going to start.
All right, let's check in one more time with Jenna Parcio. Jenna, take it away.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, I'm down on the field with DeAndre Kirkpatrick after a pretty dominant 34-23 win over Cleveland. I think the story of the game tonight was the defense. I mean, the Cavaliers didn't score until the 4th quarter. And let's talk about the interceptions. How crucial was it for you guys to capitalize on those Cavalier mistakes?
That was very crucial. You know, interceptions are everything. Takeaways, get momentum for the offense to come in and build off that momentum is great. Interceptions are great for momentum.
Yeah, and it was a huge win tonight in a dominant first 3 quarters. So what does a win like this do for your guys in your last game before league play against Dorsey starts next week?
It means a lot. It's a wake-up call, especially that 4th quarter. You know, we let it up too much. You know, we let him score 20 points in the 4th quarter. You know, we just got to build off that. Come out practice, no more attitude. Just come out practice and dominate because we know league is going to be way harder, and we got a big challenge up ahead with Dorsey.
Thank you so much. Amazing job tonight.
Thank you so much.
I'll send it back up to you guys.
Jenna, I appreciate your work. She's out of breath there. You know why? She was doing wind sprints to run down. No one else could, but she finally ran down DeAndre Kirkpatrick. Look at that smile.
MVP, Randy.
Yeah, MVP. There
what an
she is.
addition.
Yeah, we'll see her every Friday night right here on LA36. All right, that's going to be a wrap. Jenna, get some rest after that win. All right, that's going to wrap it up for our entire LA36 crew. And for Chuck Price, I'm Randy Rosenblum. There's your final numbers, 34-23. For the gang here, see you next time. Hope you're enjoying our LA City Section Game of the Week. Congratulations to the Cougars, and good night from Reseda.